Good afternoon and welcome back to HeroesCCL. Oh my God, presented by Roll20. We did it easy enough, but either way, welcome in. My name is Bahamut. I am joined today by Khroen. How are you doing on this Sunday afternoon, my friend?
I am doing just dandy today, Baha. I'm excited to get into some more games after we saw some spectacular games yesterday by players, and we have a brand new 10 to start things off here. I am excited to get into it.
Now, before we get into those rosters, let's talk a little bit about yesterday because we had so many good moments. We had some Zagara play. We had some really cool Zagara play. We also got to see, one game of Chromie, if I'm not mistaken, which was devastating. And, well, on the note of Chromie, she was actually banned 5 out of 6 games, which that's a little wild, Khroen. Like, before she was just not even considered, and now she's this first pick, first ban priority. It's a little wild to me. Anything that stood out from yesterday to you?
Yeah, that Chromie prioritization. A lot of prioritization again on that the solo lane, the Urel and the Diva. Medivh was banned. I believe actually when you're talking about stats before, you said Medivh was banned 6 out of 6 times. I actually didn't think that he was banned all 6 games, but that's crazy. People just don't want to deal with Medivh. That's such an oppressive hero to deal with. You get vision for free. You get to be able to initiate team fights very well with Leyline. You get to protect your team. You get to disengage with portals, engage with portals. You can really do it all with that hero. So no real surprise at the end of the day why he was banned so much.
He's such a strong hero, but let's actually talk about the players that we have coming in for our day number 2 here. We have 10 new players for our first 3-game series of the day. For our blue team, we're going to be having Gia, Noah, Sleepy Bear, Wit, and Yasu OTP. Khroen, who are we seeing on the opposing side of the battlefield?
Over on our red side, we are going to have Breakwood, Deadwish, Zergling, Legacy, and Masquerade.
We have 10 awesome new players for our first 3-game series of the day. And I keep saying 3-game series. I want to also make sure that everyone at home knows the difference. This is not a best of 3. We are going to get 3 maps total for our first series and 3 more maps after that, resulting in 6 Heroes of the Storm maps being played today in totality. So you have a lot of Heroes action for all of you. Khroen and I will be covering all of that. And a little note on the side of our maps, we actually had an even common ban on 3 maps yesterday. Sky Temple, Volskaya, and Tomb were actually banned out twice in both series, and the most common map was actually Battlefield and Infernal Shrines being played in both series as well. So we're starting to see a little bit of these trends here as the weeks are going to go on further and further, and I'll try and keep notes for everyone at home if they're wondering, well, what's the most common ban starting to kind of come through in our exhibition matches. But right now, Khroen, we know our players, we know we got a lot of games, but where are we going to go to for our first map of the day? That's the big question here. And where are we going? We're going to be heading off. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought you passed it to me. No, we're going to be going to Dragonshire, it looks like, for game number 1.
Yes, and we're also going to be having Garden of Terror banned out by the red team, as well as Cursed Hollow, Sky Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen being banned out as well. So once again, Sky Temple, not a popular pick, and unfortunately no Garden of Terror shenanigans this series, but hey, we could see Towers of Doom, Battlefield, or Infernal Shrines. On the note of Dragonshire, we are ready to go with our draft, so we can go ahead and jump on into that right now. And we're here, first series of the day, Khroen, Dragonshire, 10 new players. What do you prioritize? Do you want to go for the solo lane priority, or do you want to go for some sort of explosive DPS players?
So I think that we will see a bit of a similar hero prioritization as we saw yesterday. Again, these aren't teams that have played together for a long time. These are teams that were picked up by, or not picked up, but picked to just show their stuff here, and they're gonna all have their unique heroes that they can play, but that really they're going to learn how to play as a team over the course of this 3-game series. They don't really have too much prior experience playing in this kind of setting before. We are going to see that Chromie ban come out first of all, and a Maiev ban actually out of the blue side. Not something I think that we saw at all yesterday.
No, there was almost a Maiev game, but it was swapped out for a Sergeant Hammer. We were so close to seeing some dive from a Maiev, but Diva, popular ban as well, will be gotten rid of, and we're starting to see a little bit of our meta develop here. Do we see the Medivh ban? Does the trend continue into Sunday, or do our 10 new players have a different idea of what the exhibition meta is? And, well, I mean, it could still get banned out in their 3rd phase, or it could get picked up. Dragonshire is still a great map for Medivh. There's a lot of scouting you can do, and the portaling into the backline's massive, but maybe it's just too early to draft it. They're just going to go ahead and grab a Johanna, which strong tank through and through, Khroen.
Yeah, definitely. Johanna for the rotations on D-Shire, I love. But you know what I love even more? The confidence in the 1-2 to pick a Samuro Abathur out of that red team there. Woo! They're already getting off to a spicy start here today, Baha.
In the Turk interview that came out, I believe on Friday, they were adamantly saying, show us your odd picks, show us your craziness. And Sam Abba it's not crazy, it's not like unheard of, but it's not super common. And to be played well is going to be something that we're going to see here fairly soon. Either way, Greymane and Whitemane on the left-hand side. Whitemane, more and more popular as of late. She didn't have any massive changes to my knowledge come into her, but just it seems like with the massive availability of subjugation specifically, that seems to be a big turning factor at level 13 for a lot of Whitemane players. And then Greymane, we talked to it extensively yesterday about how powerful he can be as a hero. Going into this ban phase, though, they do need some sort of solo lane. They could look to ban out like Urel or Chen. It's actually going to be a Deathwing. Not a bad idea whatsoever. Khroen, what do you prioritize on the blue side for ban?
Oh man, okay, so with this red team strategy, you're not going to look to go for some solid 5v5 engages. You're going to look to play around the whole map. Samuro splitting, doing what he does best, pressuring, getting hats, looking to secure kills, especially when he gets to those later talent tiers where he's able to do a deceivingly large amount of damage. Looks like it's going to be a Cassia ban from the blue side though. But I would expect the red team to pick up a mobile tank, as well as, okay, they actually, I'm thinking about it, they could go for a solo support Abathur. We don't see that too much nowadays, but I think it's still something people are willing to do. However, though, Legacy will lock that Stukov and Sylvanas for that pushing power. There's going to be threat in whichever lane that Samuro is in, and whatever lane that Sylvanas is in, the structures are going to be in danger there.
I actually love the idea. You mentioned mobile tank for them. I think a Murden would actually work out really well. Gets into the back line with the Dwarf Toss. You have Stormbolt for setup. You have Samuro then reducing armor. I think actually a Murden would pair well with their composition. ETC would pair into them as well. Left-hand side, we're actually going to see another Kerrigan, and there's the Dahaka that I always like to ramble about on this map. I think Dahaka is so strong in the solo lane, being able to get the Brushstroke into the bottom to make a 4v4, a 4v5 in their favor, and also have that flank setup. And we just saw yesterday, Nick played a lot of Kerrigan yesterday, and I'm excited to see someone else playing it here. I love the dive potential, and it's paired with the Greymane so very well played. But on the right-hand side here, Khroen, in my opinion, it's Murden, Diablo, or an ETC. Those are the three tanks that I think really stood out based on what you're saying with the mobility, and I think this ETC also sets up more Samuro play. What do you think about the drafts, though, in totality?
I think if red team is able to play to their win condition of scaling with Abathur and letting Samuro just kind of run away with the game, that they're going to be solid. It is up to the blue team though, with their early aggression, with the Kerrigan to secure picks, get the lead, and take control of the map that way.
I'm really excited about the dive potential from our blue team. I think that's the most. It's really going to come down to the player execution, obviously, and it feels like a little bit of a cop out of a caster sentence, but like it really depends. Like if Kerrigan and Greymane can dive into the Stukov and they're not shut down by the ETC, or like maybe peeled by the ETC, this is going to be a really strong composition for our blue team. But if they're constantly being knocked away, or you know, Sylvanas is able to get her Banshees out, or Lurking Arm from Stukov doesn't allow them to get that last little bit of dive damage with Greymane with Dark Flight, or maybe Kerrigan with her Ravage. So there's a little bit of counterplay, actually a lot of counterplay coming up from the enemy team, and that's really the execution that I'm excited to see from both sides. It's really going to be on ETC to make sure that they're protecting a lot of these dive targets on their side. And also, I mean, Mene said in the interview yesterday, his favorite thing to do is to find Abathurs, jump over the wall, and get the kill, because that's what Mene did yesterday when they were playing Zagara on Dragonshire in their third game of the day. They were on that Zagara in bottom lane. They found the pick onto the Abathur. It was just a cool moment in that game yesterday. But either way, Khroen, we are here. We are on Dragonshire for our first game of our first 3-game series of the day. And on the left-hand side, we have the members of our blue team. We've got Noah on Dahaka. Wit will be on the Joanna. Yasu, OTP, will be on the Whitemane. Sleepy Bear will be on the Greymane. And Whoopi on the Kerrigan.
And over on the red side, we have Legacy on Stukov, Zergling on Samuro, Breakwood playing Sylvanas, Masquerade on the ETC, and Deadwish playing the Abathur.
We go ahead and get on into mid lane in just a second here. It looks like everyone's going to just mash into each other, and we get a bit of a fight to break out. I'm watching minimap, and maybe not the case. They're going to sneak into bottom lane or maybe do a wraparound flank into the enemy team. Wit going to step up into the bush over here. The Abathur mine will scout out a couple members over here, and you can actually see in bottom lane right now, it looks like Sylvanas and friends are going to hang out down there. They're raw siege into a tower, which is something that we often see teams do, calling it a little bit of the early game cheese, if you will. Is, you go down there, you lock down the tower Sylvanas, so you get that one tower down. But between Stukov and ETC Sylvanas, this is not a lot of quick siege, so it's not worth burning the trait just to get a little bit of siege damage. So they're just going to rotate down here, and they'll catch the wave as the enemy team's going to be doing 4-man rotations between mid to bottom with their solo Dahaka hanging out in top lane, dealing with Samuro. Masquerade gets the power slide out, and Khroen, how do you feel this map's going to develop, as this is just 4-man rotations from blue?
I'm actually glad that the red team didn't go for a little bit of extra damage on the towers at the beginning, because it would need to be able to be executed like so quickly. But the blue team catch potential, again, with that Kerrigan, is just far too much of a risk to be able to pull that off. But okay, good identification here by the blue team, knowing that red went off to the bruiser camp so they can quickly invade the sieges, take those out, and now ETC has to come over here and boop them into the fort range, which he can do easily. So it's not going to be that much of a deficit there, but still some good XP, some good control coming out from the blue team. They recognize they are going to be the team that is ahead in the early game. They can keep control and run with it from there.
Oh, you said it just right. Masquerade was using the face melt to knock the siege giant in. They got the tower help as well, and they'll burn that down. Dahaka in this top lane might get ganked. I'm watching the kind of setup right now, and Breakwood doesn't decide to step up with Legacy. Maybe they're going to go for a snipe onto the well. They are moving through the minion wave. Okay, so Dahaka's going to see this. Noah's going to try and back out right now. Legacy doesn't have anything to lock them down. They actually pop the Gladiator's Medallion going through the gate. They try and find a tongue drag to pull Zergling or someone into this front gate for some extra damage, but it's not the case, and Noah will have to clear things out with a potential Dragonite up and available in mid lane. They're going to have a lot of damage from Sylvanas, but they walk back through the gate. Sylvanas, Breakwood, utilizing the black arrows to lock down the towers to burn this down and also keep their wave healthy as Joanna comes in with a massive condemn. They're going to get pulled in by the Dahaka's going to find the tongue drag onto the Samuro. I couldn't even see whose model it was for a second. And this will just be wave clear. Samuro has top lane, ETC has bottom, and Kerrigan hanging out in mid.
It was a good identification of the red team to wait until Noah was on the shrine before rotating up to try to get a kill. Obviously, he did. He was able to escape behind the tower, but they got some of that siege damage in mid lane. Though Legacy is getting jumped on by Kerrigan. Maybe the combo is going to come through. No, it does not in time. Legacy is going to survive that engage, and that is important. Red team cannot afford to get picked off early game if they want to keep their chances alive.
Looking at bottom lane right now, we have actually ETC with the Abathur hat going into Wit. So Masquerade, tank versus tank, and now Wit's gonna have some friendly members come down here, and Masquerade power slides away, and they'll be able to disengage without any problem. Peeking up into the top lane, Dahaka's being chased by the Stukov right now. Okay, no, I was looking at the minimap, and I was like, this Dahaka might be in a bit of a bad spot, but no, they're just gonna push up the wave, and it's absolutely fine for now as ETC hangs around and tries to get the channel, and Wit hearths back for full mana.
On the bottom side, blue team taking out the bruiser camp, so some good camp clear here. Now they're going to take the shrine. There's going to be no DK, at least for now. It seems like it will be fairly even there, with red side being controlled in the top lane and blue side being controlled in the bottom lane. Breakwood on the Sylvanas down here helping clear out the Mercs. They need to find opportunities to get a little bit of that siege damage in, because you have Sylvanas. Of course, you also have the later on in the game win condition of that Samuro scaling, but still need to find some value early, I think.
Power slide in from the ETC. Wit's going to try and find a condemned Gilney and cocktail through, but this is going to be delay on the objective phase still as Samuro pushes up into the front gate of top lane, and Dahaka is going to catch that wave in just a second. At least seeing that on the map. Power slide. There's going to be Medallion, I believe, onto Whoopi, who decides to chase in further. There's going to be a shield glare onto the ETC. They're still chasing onto this. There's going to be the lurking arm as well, and the members of the blue team will find first blood. Khroen, very well played from that.
That was indeed. ETC slides in, but there's just not enough damage follow-up. All members of the blue team recognizing they can capitalize on this. There was the Gladiator's Medallion that came out, but right after, Gia on that Kerrigan able to execute that combo, timed perfectly. And now they're able to steal these siege camps again over from the red team. They, I was talking about red team, they can't really afford to lose any members, otherwise they will fall behind. That's what we are seeing now. The XP at the top here, level 9 to level 8. Once 10s are achieved by blue team, they might be able to make a good rotation into the top and push Samuro off and get a DK of their own. Of course, there is still the potential of red team to stall that out. It just depends on how they posture here. Looking like an engage on the bottom side a little bit.
Breakaway gonna throw the hunting wave out. Just be able. They actually went into the level 7 festering wound, so they do apply the mark onto them by just hitting them with the haunting wave. And right now it's a brush shock from Noah. Isolation goes out into Sylvanas. They don't get the tongue drag because they're a little too far away. I thought they might have had the extended tongue, but it's way too early in the actual talent process for them to even have that talent. I think it's a level 13 if I'm not mistaken. So they'll just have this wave. Blessed Shield raw ripped into Masquerade, who's getting pulled around. Power Slide gets them out of there, and Khroen so very close of a kill.
That was very close, but the CC wasn't quite there. I don't think the Kerrigan combo actually landed there, unfortunately, after the Blessed Shield, so it allowed ETC to be able to slide out to safety, and now he's full HP again. There's no Ultralisk, there's no Blessed Shield on the side of the blue team, and now level 10s have been achieved by the red team. Samuro pressuring top so hard, as we're still seeing that 4v3 with the potential of Abathur Hat, so maybe 4v4 down in the bottom lane. No more kills for now as blue team rotates to mid. They recognize that they need to get on top of these rotations again and force something to happen. Yeah, I'm watching the minimap, and I'm seeing this rotation to top. Wit should have a shield glare. The Condemn is going to be there as well. There's the shield glare onto the blind. Greymane tries to dive in as well. They have Cursed Bullet, so they don't have any sort of go for the throw potential. Zergling's taking them on an adventure. Gilnean Cocktail pulls them through. They're going to go ahead and find a raw Blessed Shield. That was Blessed Shield point blank from Wit. They were like, I am done with you, Samuro. I will burn a 60-second cooldown to guarantee your death. Your death timer is shorter than my heroic, but I don't care. You're dead. I don't have to deal with you. Let's potentially get Dragonite. Very, very well played from our blue team. Hey, that's some XP in the pocket. That is like, what was it, 12 to 15 seconds of Samuro being down, and even more that he has to use to rotate. Red team can get control of both of the shrines, it looks like. However, I don't think they'll be able to get the cap, as Johanna's going to be stepping onto bot here shortly. But the Abathur Mule value, something I haven't talked about at all yet, but Abathur has been able to get a lot of healing in this bottom lane when blue has been able to push a little bit. So good option there to pick. The next mule probably will go into the top lane to heal up that wall, but very, very useful talent there.
Getting pushed back right now on the red side. I'm just watching kind of their posturing on the minimap as we can see everything, and they're very much beyond the they're sticking to their side of the map. They're not even kind of stepping too far. As I say this, of course, Samuro's stepping into the top lane fort, and they'll be able to solidify that with their clones. This is the Samuro pressure that I love seeing, because you take these moments where you're like, we can guess that the enemy team's on the bruiser camp for bottom lane because they keep going for that, so let's try and get some offset pressure. Blessed Shield came out from Wit right there. Combo out from Whoopi does not connect. Sylvanas throws the Haunting Wave out. There's going to be the clone from Deathwish. Double Sylvanas coming out. Wailing Arrow's going to connect onto 3 members, but they all just walk away as the camp should be cleared out. This is a big pull, though, coming out for the blue team. They got Deadwish to utilize their ultimate evolution, and that should expire soon as Masquerade jumps in. There's going to be the subjugation from level 13 as you saw a little itty-bitty cow, and Khroen, I think they back off.
Yeah, they are. They're looking to clear these sieges once again. I think they'll be able to save this fort as well. But the rotations, Noah came down there onto Haka. Zergling wasn't quite there for the start of that engage. I don't think that Zergling actually wants to be matching these teamfights. But as we say that, though, maybe a good pick here onto Gia on the Kerrigan. A mosh pit comes out from Masquerade.
Wit's going to interrupt it with the Condemn as well. They're going to save the rest of their members. This is ET Steel still surviving. Meanwhile, Stukov on the right-hand side is going to go down to the Dahaka. Gladiator's Medallion used on Breakwood as there's an isolation onto one member. I believe it was Zergling. No, they have the Abathur Hat. Sorry, I couldn't see which one it was. They managed to get their camp on the blue side, and Masquerade being chased onto this far left side, and they're going to do their best. They have the ETC Encore from level 13, and I want to point this out. ETC's cooldown on Mosh Pit is 40 seconds currently. They used Mosh Pit not maybe, what, 20 seconds ago?
Yeah,
it's 20-second cooldown, so it's a little wild. For anyone wondering the caster math on that, it's 6% from 120 seconds is 7.2 seconds per hero hit with a face melt. So if you hit them with the boombox and the face melt, that's 14.4 seconds of cooldown reduction from one hero. Imagine if everyone stacked up in a tight corridor like there was. It's just wild to me, Khroen. It's just wild.
I have near the same reaction as that. Actually, it's such an insane talent. Mosh Pit is going to be up in just 5 seconds as red team needs to try to make something happen, but I was worried about them looking for engages because they lose 5v5s and they lost that last 5v5 too. Red team wants to be the ones dictating the pace of this game by the Samuro split pressure. They do not want to play blue team's game in terms of the team fighting there, and they did just that. They lost a couple of members, so we'll see how they respond now with that in mind. Level 16s on the horizon for the blue team as they are continuing to pressure into this bottom lane and will take this forward. I don't think red team can hold it even with the mule coming down.
Face melt from ETC. Bless Shield's going to be coming out as well. Curse Bolt's going to be out there. Legacy going to use the Gladiator's Medallion, but there's a tongue drag from Noah onto them. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Whoopi's going to go down from the fort pressure as well as from Breakwood as well. The fort will go down. Flailing Swipe will save Legacy for now, and Deadwish does have that clone of Breakwood. The Breakwood will go down. Deadwish is going to be losing the clone. Yasu's going to get chased in by Zergling with the Abathur head as well. Will Yasu go down, or will Zergling get picked off by Wit? And they're actually going to teleport out of there. The clone will be all that's left. And this is going to be a 1-for-1 trade here. Khroen, I keep thinking, I'm like, whose comms do we jump into? But I don't know when to jump in or whose comms to even jump into. It's just so chaotic right now as Noah's gonna get power slid and they're gonna, oh wait, no, Wit's in here. There's gonna be a Condemn as well. Khroen, I can't believe there's another fight going off as Legacy will get dove on by Sleepy Bear, but will Sleepy Bear find the sustained damage in the chase? I don't know here, Khroen.
Oh no, the slow coming out from Legacy there. I think actually Legacy will... No, okay. Another good jump in there from Greymane to secure the kill, and now Zergling is in trouble. Masquerade is up here with the power slide onto Whitemane to try to secure the kill here. Yasuo, will he be able to escape? Oh, the good Blessed Shield peel coming out from Wit, and actually the peel is successful. Both Greymane and ETC, Samuro and ETC fall there at the end of the day, and now blue team gains so much control on this map.
Do you want to, do you want to try and jump into red team like right as they're about to respawn? Because they're going to have to deal with this Dragonite. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I think this is the time that they need to really make something happen. There is so much pressure now. The fort is already gone in the bottom lane. They're going to take this mid fort and maybe even look for a keep after. So we'll see how the red team responds to this.
Let's jump into the red team comms right now.
Abathur can catch mid. We just gotta try to defend this. If they try to pressure mid, I can deal with it, but...
Yeah, I'm there.
Catching middle real quick.
Tongue is down.
Rush is up.
I got kicked.
We just play it slow.
I'm on my way
Right
back.
Cloning Sylvanas for
Okay.
damage.
Tongue is down.
I'm just sitting DK.
I'm on it.
Yeah, we're fine. DK's like almost dead. Just don't overextend.
They're looking for a tongue, careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get anything here. This is really good. Just don't overextend, we're fine.
Oh fuck. Like this.
Arrow.
Yeah, like that.
He's rooted.
They're slow. They're slow.
Shock is rooted.
Like the calls right there were so good, but we actually have a fight that broke out right at the end and they find the ETC kill. Really, really well played from our red team, staving off the Dragonite, but they lose their ETC in the end. The Mule comes down from Abathur. Wit is taking damage from the keep itself, and Abathur Mule is trying to sustain this. Can they save this here, Khroen?
I don't know. It's going to be hard without their tank, but the keep is doing a lot of damage here. Zergling is always a threat, especially now with that level 16 to press the attack talent, and the Abathur has going to look for something here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The keep will end up falling, and blue team just backs up to safety. And look at the map. There's 4 camps up. I guarantee they're going to get at least 3 of them here, maybe even 4.
So, Khroen, we're kind of in a lull right now in this game, and so I think you and I can have a moment here to talk about the comms that we just listened to. And so, you were on the more pro side of things. So, when you hear comms like that, does it kind of give you any sort of information as to how the team's mentality or anything? Does it give you any sort of insight as to what's happening within the team itself? Because it seemed a little low energy, in my opinion. But how do you feel about those comms that we just heard?
Well, I think here is going to be a little bit of higher energy if they are proactively looking for a fight here as this 5v5 breaks out, and Sleepy Bear actually on the Greymane is going to get caught out and die.
That's a really big pickup for them. The armor reduction coming out from Way of the Blade at level 1 was really amplifying the ability for them to potentially pick off that Greymane. Deathwish does have the clone of Sylvanas. That's why you're going to see them go down on this left-hand side. Not the biggest deal in the world, but they are still down 2 levels here on the side of our red team, as it is 9-2 in kills, and another Dragonite's up and available. if they lose this, do you think that blue team could end the game with it?
Oh, potentially, definitely. With the bot keep already being down, yes, I think it could result in a win for the blue team. But Greymane's still 25-second timer. And going back to the conversation about the comms there, it's hard to really say from just a little snippet that we heard there, but it did seem kind of low energy. Maybe they'd already talked about their win condition with the Samuro, but that is what they need to be playing towards right now. And Zergling looks to be able to be doing that on the top side right now as Dahaka does burrow, but Zergling will have the damage if he's able to keep on chasing. Looks like he won't do that though. They're going to just be satisfied with that chunk, with getting the essence out and remaining to have control of the top side shrine.
I'm waiting patiently to see if we have any fights that break out, but everyone's just kind of hanging out on their side of the map. I'm gonna quickly just look on this. Abathur, for anyone that's wondering, the XP contributions, there's roughly 18,000 from Noah right now. It's a little bit less than that. We're gonna round up here, and Abathur coming in with just about 13,000. So this Dahaka doing a lot of work. Noah's doing a great job on Dahaka to make sure they're picking up the experience. They did lose their top lane fort, but that's not that big of a deal. Like in solo lane, I feel like you often will lose this against a Samuro, and you utilize that open space to try and fight at them at least as a Dahaka. That's what I've been seeing some Dahaka players do, is they try and pull Zergling into this front gate, not going to be able to, and they might have to freeze this wave a little bit. I actually kind of want to, if we could maybe watch this just a little bit, because I'm curious as to the solo lane matchup. Nope, Zergling is just like, oh, you're gonna watch me? I'm gonna leave here. I don't want you all to watch me in my solo lane matchup, as they actually move into mid lane, maybe setting up for a fight here, Khroen.
The Zergling is opting to go for some 5v5 fights instead of just pushing that top lane. Not sure exactly how I feel about that. At the end of the day, the decision that Zergling is making, rotating in, is going to hit Wit on the Johanna a little bit, but backing off, so the brush stroke from Dahaka actually was used and doesn't really result in anything. So that is a victory when it comes to our red team here. Masquerade sidesteps the Blessed Shield here, and a great move from Legacy to start things off.
Wailing Arrow, there's going to be the mosh pit coming in. They lock down one, and they're going to be actually locking down two. I didn't realize that Yasuo got caught in that. They're going to go ahead and drop the the Scarlet Aegis. They're trying to save their friendly members. They do trade out the ETC, but they're going to lose Dahaka and Joanna. Kerrigan diving around the haunting wave from Breakwood. Is 200 IQ. Deathwish pops the clone. There's a medallion onto one, I believe. I think it was actually the cleanse from Yasuo. Look at Zergling on the left-hand side of our screen. Legacy getting dove. Flailing swipe into Zergling with the Abathur hat, if I'm not mistaken. Is going to be jiving onto Sleepy Bear, who tries to get onto Legacy. They're not going to be able to find the kill. Whoopi's going to be going down right there as they try to use their Gladiator's medallion. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Samuro has stuck to this. White Man and Yasuo is going to slowly be whittled down by our Monkey King.
And look at the top lane. The Mercs are already pressuring in. They could actually just find an opening to end here. They recognize it. Breakwood is already running to this keep. Zergling is falling behind. Abathur is going to the bottom lane. And, okay, is anyone going to get the DK? Or is Abathur just going to run to the mid lane to get the DK?
He's got 17 seconds on Deep Tunnel, so it's going to be a little bit before they can get there. And so they're still going to be able to get the Dragonite. This is absolutely wild. I can't believe we're ending game through top lane, Khroen.
We can do that with the power of the Samuro. They're not going to be able to have the DPS up for another 20 seconds here. The core is already falling. The DK is marching towards it. I think that will be game here, Baha.
Breakwood's gonna fall first. Wit's doing their best to defend against this. The core itself is gonna have those boulders coming out that stun you for, I think, 2 seconds or so, but it doesn't matter. We have a Samuro on core. It's too much, and that'll be game number 1 over to the red team on Dragonshire. GG, well played.
Very well played. I love that execution from that team fight from red side so much. It was a beautiful sidestep on that ETC. Who was playing that? Masquerade on the ETC to start things off there. Legacy over the wall with that Stukov getting, I believe it was a 2-man root there, and just an amazing collapse of the rest of the members. Even though things were looking a little bit rough after that initial bit, they kite it out and then re-engaged so well. Zergling calling for, I have a flank here, give me an Abathur hat and I can kill them all, and that is exactly what they did. They pressured into Legacy with that flailing swipe away, and then it was just theirs from the game was just theirs from there. The Merc pressure already pushing down the top lane that wasn't dealt with before that engage started allowed them to just march to the victory there. That was extremely well played there by the red team.
My MVP moment of that game, in my opinion, I know Zergling did so much for the team. I want to point that out. Zergling Samuro plus Deathwish Abathur, that is a deadly combo. Those players together are synergistic. Like it's not easy to be an Abathur in general, because you have to kind of read your players, and you have to be able to be, like, you have to know when ETC is going to need a hat, and ETC has to communicate, like, I'm looking for a fight, going to need a little bit of supplemental damage. But the MVP moment is Masquerade with that last mosh pit. That
Oh,
last
yeah.
mosh pit, catching 2 players and set up so much. The flailing swipe from the Stukov actually pushing the enemy team back in to the Samuro after ETC went down for them to just chase. It was just so beautifully played from the red team. Not to say anything against the blue team, because the Sleepy Bear and Whoopi had some insanely beautiful dives. Yasu had some great healing, and also the subjugation valley. I always harp on that, but it's really good setup. And Wit had great interrupts on Mosh, and just the overall global factor. We talked about Noah, how much experience they bring to the table. It was such a great game number 1 on Dragonshire, Khroen, and we have more games for all of you at home, because these are 3 game series. These are not best of, so we still have 2 more games with these 10 players, and then after that we have 3 more games of 10 new players. So there's so much Here's the Storm action for all of you today. Khroen, I am absolutely loving this.
And there's so much I actually want to talk about from that last game. So, like, blue team was in the driver's seat for the majority of it, but it just really comes down to that one moment of opening. Like, they talk about, yes, the red team played super well for that end little bit there, and everything kind of came to fruition. But blue team held control for a lot of the game. Like, these teams seem pretty evenly matched from what we watched there. So I am very excited to get into some more, and I think we will have the map ready for game number 2.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to be heading to Volskaya Foundry. This is going to be the map pick priority of the blue team. Now, for anyone wondering how this all works out, the losing team either has first pick or map pick. So the losing team, the blue team, actually choosing map. Yesterday, based on the stats that I ran, every team that lost opted for first pick. That was like the first series of the day. It was like blue team, or no, it was like the first series of the day. All of the maps were chosen by red, because all of the first picks were blue. And then it was vice versa for our second series. There's just a little interesting stat right there for all of you. So this is the first time we're actually seeing a map pick priority from the losing team, and it will be Volskaya Foundry. And I'm super, super excited to get into this map. Khroen, anything that you look forward to on Volskaya Foundry? It's a point control based map where you often have a lot of 5v5 fights.
I'm looking forward to seeing the reason why the blue team opted to pick Volskaya as their map choice, because as you mentioned earlier, first pick was the pick for all the teams yesterday. That is probably because, again, as I mentioned earlier, these teams have not played well together. They are not played that much together, rather. They are new to this kind of environment, and so they aren't going to have any practice strategies, but maybe 1 or 2 of the members have some sort of comfort strategies or comfort picks on this map, and so it's going to be spicy seeing what those specific picks are. I'm not sure going into it. I mean, I'm thinking about things that just fight well on that objective, and it's kind of like some brawly 5v5 moments, maybe even like, I don't know, trying to think of some things. Alex Straza, I guess we might see something like that. Maybe even like a Deathwing, perhaps. I know Deathwing was banned out in game number 1, so it is on these players' minds to be able to pull out Junkrat, a really good hero on this map, Diva as well. There's so many options here. Just excited to see how these players approach it.
Yeah, you said a lot of these fun heroes, and you know I'm always going to bring up Cho'Gall on Volskaya Foundry. I'm always going to bring up Cho'Gall no matter what, and hopefully these players showcase, like, just like we saw in the previous game with Abathur Samura, you have to be one cohesive unit together. So I'm just saying, maybe bring a little Cho'Gall to the table, showcase that you can work together. But either way, we are here, we are ready to go into draft for game number 2 of our 3-game series of the day. And this is, as we said, Volskaya Foundry. Ban-wise, though, do you think we see the Chromie, Diva, Medivh prioritization? Actually, funny enough, Medivh wasn't even banned in the last game at all.
Yeah, not banned or picked, actually. And I think the reason why that was that we had proficient Medivh players, well-known Medivh players yesterday in the games, but I don't think actually, that's not true. Deadwish plays Medivh, so I wonder if we'll be seeing that today. I know I casted a wonderful game of Deadwishes recently where absolutely dominated on Medivh, so we might see that pickup later if it is not banned. Volskaya, I think, is a map, yeah, that we could see it, as you said, but with standard bans, I would still lean towards being Chromie, being Diva, perhaps Urel, maybe a Junkrat, just standard things like that.
I'm a little surprised we didn't see any Urel priority for Dragonshire in the last map. It's often such a strong thing to control the lane, but I guess into the Samuro, the Dahaka could also utilize that Dark Swarm to get some stacking, because you can go into like Hunter Stalker, if I'm not mistaken. I might be misremembering the name, but either way, it's just ability to just gain more essence from just kind of standing around and utilizing your Dark Swarm on this Samuro, who's just popping constant clones. Chromie, though, will be banned out, Junkrat removed, as well as the Joanna. Do we see a Medivh ban? Because I honestly think this is a great map for them. Or do you hold it off for maybe the next round of bans, Khroen?
I think seeing the non-prioritization on the bans of Medivh, you hold off a little bit for now. You can pick it later on in the draft to kind of round things out here, but we will see a couple of tank bans that I wasn't necessarily expecting. The Johanna banned out from the side of the red team, ETC from the blue side there. Tanks that both teams actually respectively played, so they want to say, what else do you got? Are you going to be able to play as well as you did last game? And we're going to see Wit on the Garrosh, Yasuo on the Ana, but the D.Va being first picked actually before that from the red side here.
I like this a lot. We had an interview yesterday with Vesper or Liam, and they were noting that in the solo lane, especially into Urel, D.Va's really strong because you can deny the jump or the Avenging Wrath kind of into the wave, because that's her big way of kind of getting some initial wave clear here. So maybe they're expecting that, or they just like the potential of the zoning with the mecha explosion, and then you can root them. Actually, oh, I'm loving this, Khroen. I'm already seeing a stay a while and listen mecha explosion, and that's just exciting in itself. Ban phase wise, what are you looking for with the draft that's currently unfolded?
Well, I think you gotta recognize what the enemy team needs, and it's a solid tank, and so the Anubarak ban makes a lot of sense. I think it's going to be able to pressure that Ana very well, so not wanting to have that there. If you're the side of the red team, maybe you ban something that synergizes very well with Ana. The blue side still needs wave clear. They still need a solo laner. You could ban out Urel. Talking about that D.Va versus Urel matchup, the D.Va might win the lane, but Urel has a lot more pressure in team fights, so gonna see what the ban is coming in, and indeed it is that Urel. They don't want that to be pressuring the Deckard, especially in the team fights. They can, unstoppable later on in the game and break the stay a while and listen, and it's just going to be such a pain to deal with, so they don't want to do that here. The Li Ming, though, actually picked up by Breakwood. I'm pretty sure Breakwood on the Sylvanas had the top hero damage in the last game. Now, sure, numbers are numbers, and Sylvanas does a lot of damage, but still, there is something to be said about that. Every single member of the red team had to play, perfectly to execute that draft, and Breakwood found the opportunities to get a lot of very impactful wailing arrows out, very impactful damage, and so with Li Ming, though, that's going to be so much more explosive.
I'm excited to see that as well. And you make a note of saying that Breakwood had, I think, the highest damage, and I believe you are correct in that. The other thing, too, is to note is they went into Festering Wounds at level 7, which means you're using your Haunting Wave as an aggressive tool, not a defensive tool. Typically, we see Sylvanas just kind of get in there, they throw the Haunting Wave behind them, they get a lot of damage, and they just back out. What? Oh, I am excited. I love a good Tyrael game, and I think with Greymane, this is so much good dive. This is actually huge. I don't think we'll have it, but you know me, Khroen. Do you think this could actually be Judgment? Do you think? Think about it. All right, Judgment, stay a while, mecha explosion, and Greymane's just sitting there slashing, and Li Ming's just throwing arcane orbs. Give me Judgment, please. It's going to be Sanctification, probably. But last pick on the left-hand side, they need some more damage, and it will be a Jaina. This pairs into the Ana, as you were noting beforehand, because typically you want to find some sort of mage that you can nano boost. Sylvanas could have been that target, but Jaina's just actual raw burst with a nano boost as well. It's your levels, I think, above a Sylvanas potentially. And you have so much set up with the Garrosh Warlords challenge, the Jet Propulsion from Blaze, because Jet Propulsion, if you don't know, or if anyone doesn't know, it's an AoE stun. So if you have everyone clumped or stacked on top of each other and you hit maybe Deckard with this Jet Propulsion, but you have Li Ming and Greymane right next to them, they're going to get stunned out too, which is more set up for this Jaina for maybe a Ring of Frost, Blizzard, Cone of Cold. There's just a lot of great bursts from them, and I really like that last pick for our blue team. I will say this, though. I'm caster bias. I'm a little leaning towards the red team here, Khroen. What do you think?
Okay, a couple of things. I don't think, unfortunately, that it will be a Judgment. I think there's too much good defense on the side of the blue team with that bunker, with that allied toss, and things like that. But the Sanctification, though, while it won't be the play, it will be very hard to execute, actually. Not often do we even see practice teams execute a Tyrael, engage Sanctification to its best effectiveness, let alone a team that has not played that much together. So I am curious to see how this game gets underway. We're going to introduce our teams right now.
On the blue side, we've got Noah on Blaze, Wit on Garrosh, Sleepy Bear on Jaina, Yasu OTP on the Ana, and Whoopi on the Sylvanas.
And over on the red side, we have Deadwish playing the Greymane, Zergling on the D.Va, Breakwood on the Li Ming, Legacy on the Deckard Cain, and Masquerade playing Tyrael.
Well, we can go ahead and take a peek at our mid lane as well as our level 1s and see what our engagement looks like. We do have the Sapphire at level 1 for the Decker Canes. They're going to be increasing that slow with the Heroic Q, maybe setting up for some more dive potential from the Greymane, or maybe chase potential from the Greymane, and then just burst ability from Breakwood. But this mid lane engagement seemingly, oh, we get a toss onto just a minion. I think they're looking for maybe Zergling just to force the boost out from them, but this will be D.Va rotating to bottom into the Blaze, and we continue, or I guess we begin our 4-member rotations from top to mid till we basically get our first objective phase that will be announced at 2:30 and will be up and available for contest at 3 minutes.
And the red team seems to have a bit more control here when it comes to the wave clear. The Tyrael actually shielding the wave middle allowed them to get the priority there. Wit, though, on the Garrosh is going to be looking for something here, and Breakwood blinks away. Wit is not able to find anything there. There's actually the rotation there by Noah to see if they can make something happen. I do like that call. Regardless of if it didn't work out there, I like that aggression. You know, asking plays, hey, can you rotate? Because I'm going to look for something here. Those are the kind of plays that results in kills oftentimes.
I like the harassment coming out from Zergling into Noah right now. They know that Whoopi's on this camp on the left-hand side, but just slowing them down really, really helps out because it made them kind of it puts them in this awkward spot where they're like, well, we have to play safe. We can't do the kind of stutter stepping that we want to do, and we have to play to the left-hand side of the camp, and that's why we saw Ana come in there just to help out and burn it down a little bit faster with their own auto attacks, and also just to keep these Sylvanas a little more healthy in case any sort of dive came out. We continue our rotations and note that there is a camp on the right-hand side to be grabbed by Deathwish and Legacy, or excuse me, Deadwish. I'm curious, do they hold this? Because this is very early for the camp. Oh, they're actually going to grab it immediately. It's a 3-minute cooldown on it, so they won't have it up and available for the objective phase, and looks like our biotic emitter will be stolen away by the blue team.
That definitely the advantage goes over to the side of the blue team there. Getting that support camp actually gives you so much XP, again with a rotation from Noah. But in rotating back to bottom lane, might get caught out here, doesn't get caught by the Deckard Cain Scroll of Sealing there. So it's going to be able to walk to safety back to the bot lane.
Top lane, just going to be rotation still, picking up regeneration globes for the Jaina. She's actually at 10 out of the 20 for that Fingers of Frost at level 1. Wit going to be eating an Arcane Orb right there. And it's kind of, I wouldn't say slow right now, but neither of them are really trying to dive into each other. It seems like they're mostly just looking for experience. I'm saying this, and I might be caster cursing myself as Sleepy Bear. Now they're going to siege in this front gate a little bit, and they're going to throw a Haraja Cube as well. Yasuo split from the team, but they should be able to just actually find a Sleep Dart into Greymane? Wit? Oh, wait. Medallion out of there. Indomitable as well. Okay, no one goes down. It's just a lot of buttons pressed, but nothing really happening.
That was a really good medallion there from Deadwish, and I think it was actually Noah charging back in, trying to find an engage here. The Ana Sleep Dart comes in onto Tyrael, but will anything else happen here? Sleepy Bear rotating down on the Jaina, but both teams will just back off. Noah going to tap as we will have our first objective phase underway.
7 talents here in favor for the blue team, a little bit faster as they have that experience kind of coming in for them. The toss from to Zergling, Mecha Explosion's available. They don't get it in time. Wit can't lock them down. There's no Warlord's challenge, but they still manage to find 7 talents here first. And they have the channel on this objective phase, 30% and rising in favor for the blue team. Do we see any sort of contest from the red side, or are they going to just give this over until it's maybe literally at the 99 contest? Okay, no, Masquerade comes in here, Khroen, and we are going to get a full 5v5, and I think in just a second.
Yeah, I think actually Zergling on that D.Va did not want to use the Mech Explosion because that's such a powerful tool to be able to use during this objective phase, but actually Tyrael might get caught out here. Okay, a good medallion. A ground breaker there from Wit, but Masquerade is going to be able to escape. Has to base though, so I actually might just see the objective go over to the side of the blue team here.
I think they waited a little too long here. So they do have the Mecha Explosion. D.Va also does have a turret as well, so they can drop that fortification camp. They're going to jump off this point, and they give it over. Yeah, they can't get back onto this in time. They also got the Biotic Emitter out from the enemy team, but I would expect this to be the standard Volskaya Triglaw Protector rotation. You have mid lane front gate, you rotate to top, and you go for well.
Yep. Sleepy Bear, though, getting engaged on a really good blizzard. They're actually hitting all 4 members here to slow them, so Sleepy Bear will be able to run to safety. The Protector is going to go to this top lane, as you mentioned. Getting that well is so important for the second objective phase, but Deadwish and Breakwood just DPSing it so hard right now. It's already half HP. Protector's kind of kiting back while losing HP the whole time, so not getting quite as much value, I suppose, as they would traditionally want. They are catching all of the waves, the blue side is, and Zergling trying to catch them as they come in on the side of the red team. The well will be taken out, I think, but they have to back up immediately. immediately. I mean, they're staying for it. It actually
All of
didn't
it was
fall.
out of range. It, no joke, the well has a literal like 38 health on it. I just looked at it really quickly. I can't believe it. Toss goes out onto Dead Wish though. They do have their fortification camp. They're trying to get towards the potion. They actually find double potion as Decker King gets one out just in time. Legacy with some great healing. Sleep Dart connects onto Li Ming, but the Groundbreaker won't be there, and they actually use their Gladiator's Medallion.
Not getting that well is actually so important for the red team. The next objective phase will spawn in the top lanes when these teams fight over it. The red team will be able to utilize their taps there, and if blue team got it, you know, they wouldn't be able to. But now with the 10's advantage, a really good play here by the blue team, making sure, hey, we have enough time to get this support camp. Once again, they utilized the other support camp in the objective. Maybe they didn't need to, but they still did it just to make sure. But it doesn't even matter, right? They're still going to be able to get control of this area and have more turrets, more utilization on those map camps than the enemy team.
My dreams have died today as we do have a Sanctification Tyrael. No Judgment coming in, no fun. I mean, really, like, I didn't expect them to do Judgment, but, you know, I can dream here and there. I was actually looking at, they actually end up sniping the well for the top lane. They're going to chase it onto Wit. Indomitable is going to be used. I think this is just going to be back off as actually they drop. Sleepy Bear's going to drop the Water Elemental, but it's cleared out immediately, and I think this is just baiting out some abilities. They get the Water Elemental and find a combo into Jaina.
Yeah, wow, actually both combos there from Breakwood having a large impact. If a team fight happens and Jaina's left with that water Ellie just like pounding on the enemy team for so long, it gets so much value. There's oftentimes you need to be like, okay, now we need to focus the Ellie down so it's not, you know, a literal 6v5 here in that scenario. So really good combos there. Actually, Blaze falling on the bottom side there. Good rotation by the red team, making sure to get that pick. So that's actually first blood of the game here.
It's been a while. It's been 7 minutes into our game, and that's first blood. They utilize the Sylvanas to lock down the tower, and they burn through half that health. Warlord's Challenge coming out. That's going to be a toss into Tyrael. Sanctification is up and available if they need it. Dead Wish coming in here, going to dive onto Whoopi. They're going to get the nano boost from the Ana. Stay a while, listen, Mecha Explosion! There's going to be the healing circle coming out from one of the friendly members as they try and save everyone right there, and Wit gets out with a sliver of health. Khroen, I cannot believe that everyone lived through that, but I honest to God think that the biotic emitter really saves a couple members.
It really does. That looked so good. Like, you want that to result in kills, actually. I was like, yes, it's happening. They executed that really well, but it just wasn't quite enough. The explosion pushed them back behind their wall. The Sanctification was used there as well to try to secure kills, but Greymane wasn't really in position to be diving in exactly at that moment. There wasn't any more Li Ming spells available, and, you know, you can't throw them past the wall unless you blink over it, of course. So we will be having level 13s achieved here for the blue team. Even though they are a one kill down, they are a couple support camps up, so that's where the XP advantage is coming from there.
Let's check out comms for our blue team here. I'm going to throw us right in there because we are in the objective phase.
We can also look for a bot play and just take fort bot.
Wanna catch mid wave?
Can we look for bot fort?
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna anchor for you. I'll clear next mid. I think Jaina go with Garrosh Jaina.
Be with me.
Yes.
You had a stun on him, I can throw.
He's slow.
Kill.
We need top place. Coming down.
I think I have to give top.
Top keep.
Yeah, we need to play top now. This is good. I'm on that.
Yeah, just go. I'm hitting mid until we're there.
You're pretty deep top. If you can.
Yeah, can we go
Yeah,
deep?
I'm coming.
Deep by spot.
They know I'm short on wall.
Yeah, it's fine.
They can die. Look
Yeah,
at Decker.
I throw the Greymane. Greymane is under a fort.
I'm gonna look for Li Ming now.
Big slow.
Very thanks.
It's fine. Do you want to?
I have stun and then. Oh.
I'm gonna silence backline.
Greymane, come on, Diva. We need to peel Fran in the back. Yeah,
I have stun and one.
I have two and one.
I'm playing to
Getting a punch. Dude, try to heal me.
Oh, the turret.
Help Yato.
I'm trying not to give reset, but
I'm coming back.
We get out.
How did?
there was a turret that just killed me.
Wait, we can look. If you wanna throw.
I have throw.
Yeah. I wanna drop turret here.
I have taunt in 3.
And the comms just exploded in that match, right in that moment right there. Like it was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna go get this, I'm gonna go get that, and then it's just like, fight. I got this, I got that, I'm here, peel for me, save the Ana. I'm not trying to get resets or give resets. Really, really well played, but the blue team ends up losing out in the end of that engagement. With though on the point of this, trying to get a little channel.
Yeah, they get a little bit here, which is good. It gives time of the members of the blue team time to respawn. With, though, getting pressured very hard by Breakwood. Actually, Breakwood stepping away from the garage as that taunt, as that Warlord's challenge comes down there, though. So that is a 50-second cooldown that's not going to be available here. I think this objective will go over to the red team when all things are said and done. But that last engage, though, that lasted for so long, and that was so well played by a lot of members there. At the end of the day, though, it was the identification of Breakwood at the end there on the Li Ming so that they'd be able to turn that fight and put it in their favor. And now we have the objective spawn and the support camp grabbed. So while blue team still has a slight XP lead here, they have a cheat level 16s first that will be caught up very quickly here by the red team.
I gotta be honest here, Khroen, and I think you said it perfectly. Breakwood's patience in that fight just to wait for the window for them to get reset after reset, and it was only a couple, but it really changed the dynamic and pushed them up to basically get this Triglav Protector. They are actually a little bit behind in experience, but that doesn't matter. They have this Triglav Protector, and they're just tearing through top lane, tearing through mid lane. D.Va gonna back off. Wit taking a bit of, Wit and friends trying to get some damage into the Triglav Protector. It is a Sylvanas and a Tyrael inside, and they do have Sanctification off of cooldown, so they could lose this and pop that immediately, but they're going to start to back off. There's going to be a, is this Triglav Protector? Was it reduced in size or something? No, okay, I don't think it is actually. Either way, they're going to lose they're going to lose it right there. Warlord's challenge as they come out of that. Stay wellness and nano boosted Whoopi on the left-hand side as they have Jaina finishing her baseline quest. Sylvanas goes down. Sanctification will keep them alive as Grimming goes for the throw and finds the kill. Gonna find a second. Tyrael's, oh my god, they're gonna find triple kill right there. Sleep Dart from Yasuo saves the retreat, and they're gonna go ahead and take bottom lane fort right now. Khroen, so very well played by the red team.
That it was. The Sanctification there, I think, was near perfect by Masquerade, allowing or not allowing the counter kill potential from the blue team there, as kills were already coming through. Sylvanas got taken out so fast by the DPS of the red team. Deadwish and Breakwood really on top of their game right now, but everybody as well, though, I think on the members of the red team are playing so well. Deckard setting up a lot of things there. Again, Masquerade on the Tyrael, identifying when is the best time to Sank, because Sank is a hard ability to use in this very high tension competitive setting there. And but I think all three of them were near like pretty good, especially that last one though.
It was like 500, 300, and like 600. It was like very low health for three people, and it was just such a well-timed Sanctification. Like, those are not easy to do, and I know you just said it, and I'm harping on it as well, but it's when you can get those moments and you can turn the fight even further in your favor because of just that one R button being pressed. That's massive. I want to quickly just run through some numbers as we're rotating around the map and maybe checking each other for a potential fight. On the blue team, the highest siege damage is going to be the Blaze with over 100,000, Jaina with 24,000 heroic damage. On the opposing side, D.Va with 125,000 siege and then 26,000 heroic damage. So D.Va, a little bit of an MVP right now, and Wit's gonna get chased in. Khroen, can they find the kill?
Not immediately though. Wit with a good throw, but it looks like the Warlord's challenge comes down and he does end up falling here.
There's going to be there was a silence from Sylvanas, Masquerade low. They do have Sanctification if they really need to burn it, but they just got a massive shield, and they jump their health up to like 1,300 or something like that. So it's they're absolutely fine, and that single target pick is massive for them, Khroen.
It is actually on the Li Ming. Breakwood almost finding another kill there at the end there. Maybe a little caster bias here, but I love watching Li Ming's look for these engages, look for these picks, and it nearly resulted in a kill there. However, the red team continues their dominance of the map. They now have 4 camps to utilize in this next fight. 2 turret camps, 2 healing camps. And look inside of the blue team, they have nothing. This objective should, with that math, 4 is greater than 0, go the way of the red team. And blue is identifying that. They are rotating up towards the top lane, maybe looking at circling here.
They're trying to make something happen. They're gonna have to dive under tower if they really, really want it. Sleep Dart will connect. They're actually gonna lock down the tower with the Sylvanas Black Arrows. They want to get the slow. They get the Jet Propulsion. Water Elemental's gonna be there, and the burst will connect. They will find the top lane fort in this as well, but Breakwood looking for a reset. Gonna miss the combo. Blaze drops the bunker. There's gonna be the ice block for Sleepy Bears. They finish up their baseline quest. They end up turning onto Breakwood. They find the counter kill into each other. Sanctification comes out as well. Noah getting so very low. It's gonna be tossed away as I believe they utilize their Gladiators medallion. Sleep Dart onto 2. There's gonna be the current counter Jet Propulsion into them. Death Wish is gonna use the Razor Swift to get out of there. The Eyes in the Dark will save them a little bit, but Sylvanas is gonna Wailing Arrow into their face. This should be Dead Wish going down. Legacy split. Jet Propulsion not connecting, but the Sleep Dart is gonna be on point. Khroen and Legacy goes down. All that is left is Tyrael, and they will keep themselves alive in mid lane.
A little bit of over-aggression there from the red team. D.Va had already went down, but they thought that they could capitalize on the overextension of the blue team. However, Jaina with that ice block, Breakwood not able to secure that kill in time, and Jaina actually, Sleepy Bear, really, really good in just bursting Li Ming down there, and that's what changed the fight. Like, if Li Ming had got that reset there, that fight would have gone so differently, actually.
I 100% agree with you, and just the sidestep, because there was Breakwood, I think, had an Arcane Orb that was just either sidestepped or just like, I don't know if they actually had Ice Blink, because no, they didn't. They went into Wintermute. Sorry, I misread the talents because it's Sylvanas who went into Blink. Regardless, it was a really good sidestep of the damage coming in, and that Ice Block just saved. It just bought a little extra time. I love that last engagement top lane, and it was also a good showcase of how, you know, an overextension and overchase can really be Blaze's best opportunity to turn things around, because so many times they were all like chase, and they started to clump up, and that's where I was talking in the draft. Blaze's Jet Propulsion is an AoE stun, and that AoE set them up for a couple counter kills. If Jaina is the only thing you lose and you get 4 kills, that is 100% a trade worthwhile in my book. But Khroen, we set up for control point C as it is up and available. 71% for our blue team and 0 on the side of the red team as they get some initial channel down here.
Now I was talking about the camps that the red team had. Now they have 0 and the blue team has 2. So get a little bit of a swing the other way there. Wit gets a good throw onto Masquerade there, but the sword came down already. Blue members are going to take this fort immediately and rotate down to the bottom lane, question mark. Okay, they're going to take the support camp first before they make this rotation happen. They have a little bit of time. It is only 50% on this objective for the red team, as red members are rotating up though to try to stall this rotation.
D.Va's on the point. Yeah, Masquerade mounting up, and they're just going to go ahead, and I think they might throw now Druin's Might onto them just to get the dismount and a little bit of harassment. There's actually the speed boost. Jet Propulsion gets Noah out of there. And I think right now, Khroen, there's a little bit of tiptoeing, but it's the setup for a big fight.
Yeah, blue team almost really didn't get down here in time, and Wit actually takes a lot of damage while this fight breaks out. But a good combo. Start things off here.
Breakwood is going to back off right now. There's going to be a toss on the Masquerade. There's going to be a Sanctification from Tyrael as well, just to keep them safe. Mecha Explosion. Noah's going to get bought by that. They're going to jump into the bunker just in time. They're going to have 400 and something health. But Greymane goes for the throw and finds the kill. Going to turn onto Whoopi. Isn't going to be able to get into them. Wit is so very low. They're going to toss Masquerade away. And this is kind of a reset. Yasu's so far from the friendly team. I don't even know how they got over. They're going to try and play within the hidden vision of the bush, and they will not be able to survive. They do get the Sleep Dart out, which buys some time. But Wit, Sleepy Bear, and Whoopi are so low. This is reset city for Breakwood if they're able to find another kill, but they get the Trigger Protector and Khroen. They can move in through bottom lane and take keep and maybe even game.
And I didn't even see. You were saying, yeah, how did Anna get over there? How did Yasu find their way over to that that red side? But either way, a really well-played fight there by the red team here, as they now have a protector. They're going to push into this bottom lane. They're going to get at least a keep here with 3 members down, but they could even look for core. We are 18, 19 almost minutes into the game here. If they find kills, it will definitely be game here, but I think they'll be marching towards the core no matter what. 8 seconds on the Blaze, 20 seconds for the Anna. I'm not sure they have enough here.
This is also control point C, Trigger Protector. It's really, really strong, and oftentimes this is the one that end the game. Stay While and Listen's going to be coming out. They're going to find the kill onto the Sylvanas. Sleepy Bear so very low. Dead Wish looking to pad their stats a little bit. There's the ice block from Jaina. They still get the Razor Swipe and find the kill. The core will fall rapidly on the blue side, and it looks like the red team will even up our score 1-1 in our 3-game series. GG, well played.
GG, well played there by the red team. That both of these games have had fights that were very explosive at the end there, and then it's boom, they march to core and they end the game after. So and some amazing action there. There's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, because both teams actually had a lot of moments of greatness during that game. The blue team was ahead in those in the mid game a little bit there. They had some really good, the pick onto Zergling in the top lane. Momentum was swinging that way. They had the XP advantage actually for a large portion of that game, but the red team's team fights Masquerade on the Tyrael there, getting some really good sinks off. The Stay a While and Listens by Deckard Cain Legacy were huge. The heals onto Greymane, the identification from Deadwish and the communication rather between Deadwish and Legacy to kite back and make sure those potions are healing you up, and then Breakwood again on that Li Ming, finding plays and making things happen.
Yeah, it was so very well played. I actually misspoke right there. I think it's actually 2-up for our red team. They actually did win the first map. So that is my mistake. Sorry, everyone, on that one. Regardless, I agree. Like, there were so many amazing plays, and I love this this matchup that we just had. And we've got more Heroes of the Storm action coming up for all of you in just a second. But first things first, we're going to take a small break. We're going to go to our next lobby ready to go for all of you, and also get our map set up for that as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got more HeroesCCL presented by Roll20. See you all very soon. Welcome back to Heroes CCL, presented by Roll20. I am, as always, Bahamut. Joining me, as always, as well, is going to be Khroen. How was your break, and are you ready for our game number 3?
Break was great. I got some water, staying hydrated, as hopefully all of you at home are. And I'm excited to get into game number 3. We do already have a 2-0, the side of that red team. Red team really showing some good stuff, but these games are not stomps, Baha. They are close. These games could go either way. It just kind of comes down to that last fight and how that goes, because it happened to go the way of the red team a couple of times, but we might see that go the other way in this game number 3.
Yeah, I'll be honest. In my mind, I was like, oh yeah, blue team, they had so many good moments that I was like, oh yeah, this is an even series. But no, it's red team. They have found so many good late game fights. I think you nailed that absolutely correctly, because the early game fights are so back and forth, but there's not these long death timers where there's pivotal and key moments that the red team can really get value and push in like they did. Like a great example is the bottom lane fight where Breakwood actually popped off and found a couple resets, and then they grabbed the trigger left protector. It's 3 kills. Cool. Let's run to core.
Yep.
You may be able to kill Breakwood in the defense, but you still have a trigger left protector wailing its way into that core. And it was just such a fast win for them. But we already know who we're seeing playing. Let's find out what our next map and our final map of our first 3-game series will be. And it is going to be Infernal Shrines, one of the favorite maps of you and I as well. So for anyone that's wondering, let's back it up just a quick second here when it comes to bans, because we did have the blue team banning out Tomb of the Spider Queen and Sky Temple. Cursed Hollow and Garden of Terror were banned out by the red team. We had our first map was Dragonshire, won by the red team. The losing team, the blue team, opted for map pick priority in that second game. And so they chose Volskaya Foundry. They lost once again, so they opted for first pick, giving map pick priority over to the red team. And that's why you're seeing the red dot picking up Infernal Shrines for our next game here. And Khroen, I love every single map, and I feel like I say this about any time we're getting into a map, but Infernal Shrines is so fun because it's a lot like Volskaya. You have so many really big team fight moments around these shrines, but you also have to consider wave clear, shrine clear, because on Volskaya, yes, you have wave clear, but you don't have to clear a shrine full of skeletal defenders and get 40 of them to summon the John Cena. You have to, you have to just stand on a point and get a trigger protector on Volskaya. So any thoughts on to prioritization when it comes to the draft for Infernal versus Volskaya?
So actually, I have some draft thoughts just from things that I have noticed throughout the first couple of games. Red team has won the team fights in the later game, as we mentioned, but they also have the harder to execute team fight compositions. We look back to game number 1, they have the Samuro Abathur. That takes a little bit more coordination than your standard team comp. In the last game, they have the Tyrael Sanctification. That is harder to utilize than most things that we see, but still, they are able to execute. So I think it just speaks well to how these players are able to execute as a team when they have not, again, had the prior practice of playing together, Baha.
Yeah, that prior practice is a big thing, and I actually think that there was a couple. I think it was the blue team was actually playing maybe a couple ARAMs before today, because I saw them all in voice comms before we even got into our broadcast. But we are here, we're ready to go. Infernal Shrines is the map number 3, and I'm ready for this. You know me, I'll always say I want some Cho'Gall. I always want that Mephisto. Give us some oddities on this map. We might see it, we might not. This is also another great opportunity for them to Samuro again.
Yeah, it is. I actually, you're an advocate for Cho'Gall. I know, Baha, you're going to love to see that pick come out here. And I think Infernal Shrines is a solid map to do so here. It depends on if our teams want to pull that out, if they're confident. Of course, these are the exhibition matches. This is where players will really want to show their stuff. And I think it's very appealing to organizations to be able to know that you have the confidence to pull that out and hopefully succeed with it as well. But as our bans continue, we have the Chromie and the Junkrat. No surprises there, Baha. We're still gonna have some standard stuff. The Diva actually not wanting to give that over to the hands of Zergling, because Zergling played a phenomenal Diva last game.
Oh yeah, I didn't look at the stats at the end, but I believe Zergling had the highest heroic damage, siege damage, and I want to say XP contribution. Like, I think Zergling was a one woman wrecking crew in that game, in a sense, you could say. But it was just really, really cool to see, because it's been, Diva's been kind of just at the low end of our meta for the longest time, and that's the blunt truth of it. Like, she has never been first pick, first ban priority in any way, shape, or form. But now I kind of like her rising up a little bit, and people maybe just still figuring out how to play against it. So that's why we're seeing a higher pick and ban rate onto it. Either way, hot priority onto an ETC on the left-hand side. What is this 1-2 for the red team? Is it Ana and a mage?
I think Ana and Mage, like, we see the Ana Li Ming pairing a lot of the times, but okay, it's actually Yrel. That makes sense with the Diva already being banned there. Yrel, again, being the other solo lane prioritization there. But yeah, I don't necessarily like the Ana Li Ming just because it's hard to fight on the shrines. You're going to have a bunch of skeletal defenders in the way, but we do see a Tracer and a Lucio come out here for the members of the blue team. Tracer, I don't think we saw any Tracer yesterday, right?
We had a ban on the Tracer because it was Infernal Shrines and Lutana was on the enemy team, and they were just like, nope. Because I remember I was doing my notes last night. I was like, why was there a Tracer ban? That I looked at the map and I looked at who was there. I was like, oh yeah, it's Lutana, right? Yeah, the god tier Tracer player of the world. But Mouthy, it's Cho'Gall! I'm telling you.
It actually is. Like, I'm actually so more confident than I've ever been over the past like 8, 9. This is the 9th game that we've casted in exhibition matches. This is the most likely to be a Cho'Gall.
It is,
Will
actually.
Blue team, yeah, with the Ana Yrel and the Malthael ban. Okay, Diablo actually is the ban there for the blue team. I think we're gonna see it here, Baha.
You please red team, give this to me. Like, at least give us one exhibition Cho'Gall match. I want chaos. I want absolute chaos.
So good here. I think the Tracer, I don't think could deal with the Cho'Gall well.
Yes! Callous Tide, it's a really good pickup. You have so much mobility. You have so much engagement into this enemy team. Let's say ETC moshes you. You still have level 16 Leaden Orb on Gall, and you can stun them out. This is the worst draft. Why are we double supporting? Hello?
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. Breakwood locking that Deckard Kane. Okay. How to unpack this? I think the mentality of the red team is that if Tracer's not allowed to play the game, not allowed to find kills, then she won't actually be an impactful hero. So Deckard Kane, pretty survivable. Ana, you have the extra supporting from the Deckard to make sure that you are safe. Raynor is going to need to do a lot of work here, though, as I think we are going to get... Actually, are we going to get a main tank pick out of the side of the red team?
Their wave clear is non-existent.
Yeah.
Where is your wave clear, red team? I'm sorry, but like, you don't have... The opposing side is going to body you right now. Power slide from ETC. Tracer sticks on you like a bug. Jane is bursting you down. Sonya, I'm just hoping they're probably going to Wrath Berserker, but you can still leap on top of someone's head. Lucio's like, I'm confused by this red draft. This is either there's a miscommunication or okay. I think we might have some sort of miscommunication. So we're gonna fix that in just a little bit here. So let's talk about the draft though that we do have for Infernal Shrines for our blue team, because we do already have that established. We know that it's that full bursty composition. It's a little tried and true, and maybe just the spice of a Tracer, because she's not too common of a pick.
Okay, looking at the chat here, thinking can piece it together that Deckard was not Deckard and wanted to be Imperious, and Jaina wanted to be Gul'dan. So a couple of things that we will get sorted here in just a moment. You know, some of these players are playing from other regions. They don't have all of the characters unlocked on their account, so trying to get that all sorted out here, Baha.
Yeah, just it happens. It absolutely happens. But either way, so Infernal Shrines, the composition of our blue team is just bursty and devastating. But on the opposing side, I still think, like, no matter what they would have picked up, like, I feel like they needed some sort of massive wave clear. So let's hope that maybe that second support is some sort of mage that might be able to clear out the waves for them. I don't know here, Khroen. Like, it's such a weird draft to try and mentally piece together, because I still think it's lacking in some realm on the red side, no matter what they kind of swap into there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. So, I mean, I want to go back to I think the Tracer Lucio a little bit, because they're not typically heroes that you see paired together. Usually, when you think of Tracer, you think I'm gonna want a lot of healing and like a lot of sustained healing, which Lucio has a bit of sustained healing, but it's mainly just going to be on that activation to really get that get a lot of it out at once. But there's no Malfurion, and there's no, like, you know, Tassadar is not the old Tassadar. You know, you think of the classic pairing of Tracer Tassadar.
Yeah.
But that's just not gonna be a thing here. Tracer, Lucio will be able to keep up with Tracer though, but like, is the synergy there? We know that based off the past couple of games, the team fighting potential has kind of led towards the advantage of the red team and how cleanly they play this though. But this is blue team being like, no, we are going to out skirmish you. We are going to be winning these team fights, and we're going to do it with this composition that is kind of, again, non-traditional. The Sonya as well, another good hero that is good for the map Infernal Shrines, but the Lucio healing. Like, they have to find a lot of value when these sound barriers come down, and that shielding that it provides, they have to find some kills in there, I think, because without that, they will not be able to have these prolonged engages.
Do you know what I'm actually realizing as you're talking about healing? I'm kind of staring off into the distance and thinking about this. Everyone on the side of the red team, or excuse me, the blue team, has some sort of self-sustain. ETC's got his guitar solo. Sonya can go into, well, they have Whirlwind baseline, but they can go into Warpaint at level 1, which will allow them to have auto attack healing. You've got healing from Tracer. Jaina's the only one I think who doesn't have any sort of self-heal, if I'm remembering correctly. And so I'm kind of loving this. And also, this gives you, I'm thinking of also the Lucio, gives you so much more viability and stickiness, as I like to say, for the Tracer. She is such a hard hero to get rid of. Like typically when I play in my games, I like to use Asmodan quite often because of the fact that if Tracer comes up and she wants to be the busy bee around me, I hit the laser and then they have to be forced away. Typically it's you trying to run away from the Tracer to get to some friendly distance area. So it's little things like that to consider. And I love the Lucio paired into it because I think it makes her so much more aggressive and annoying, and Lucio can amplify that with the push off, the slow, and ETC as power slides. Like, I kind of think that the blue team has the stronger draft through and through here. Like, regardless of what the enemy team picks up, I think it's just such a well-rounded, put-together draft. It's really going to come down to the execution of the players, as always.
Yeah, you're mentioning the healing as well, and actually I think the blue team, the Jaina, is Gul'dan, so Gul'dan also has self-healing.
Oh my god,
well,
is it really?
yeah, looking at what the players meant to pick up there, it is going to be a Gul'dan. We will get this draft sorted here in just a little bit, but oh man, Infernal Shrines, a map that you love, a map that I love as well. I'm glad that we get this for the last game of our first series here. It's just gonna be such a delight watching these teams and what they're able to do with the shrine posturing and how they fight, because these team fights have been so exciting to watch. There's been so many moments of greatness from both teams. It has been in the favor, again, as we've said, of the red team now, but blue team has a chance to really come back here.
Looks like, just to update everyone as well, there's a swap. It was instead of a Deckard Cain, I do believe it was an Imperious, so that is going to be the difference. And then, as Khroen has already noted, actually no, there was another change. It was also Medivh in there as well. So Imperious, Medivh are going to be swapped in onto the red team. Gul'dan for the Jaina on the left. We'll be able to see that once we get into the actual game here in just a second. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Sorry about the slight delay for our game number 3, but we will get you in there and we'll have Heroes of the Storm action for all of you in just a minute. As I said beforehand though, Khroen, like even with the Gul'dan swapped out here for the Jaina, I kind of still think the blue team has the stronger draft. Like, I know this Imperious has good setup. You have backline flanking from Medivh, but I think their wave clear is just way too lacking.
Their wave clear is lacking. That is a concern. I'm not going to lie, Baha. That is very much a concern. But Dead Wish is playing Medivh, and I am hyped to see this.
Fair. You did talk about this, and I think in game number 2. I'm excited about this as well. This is interesting, to say the least, when it comes to Medivh players. Actually, you know what? This is the first Medivh game we've had in HeroesCCL.
Yeah.
Like exhibition matches. We've had, this is our 9th game. And this is our first Medivh. So, hey, yesterday we got to see Chromie. Today we'll be able to see the Medivh, and we will load into Infernal Shrines here in just a second for all of you. And it actually looks like just me saying that might have actually kicked it through. So we can go ahead and get on into game number 3 on Infernal Shrines in just one split second here. On the left-hand side, we have our blue team. Yasu, OTP, will be on the Lucio, Sleepy Bear on the Sonya, Wit on the ETC, Noah going to be on that Tracer, and Whoopi on the Gul'dan.
And over on our red side here, we have Zergling on the Yrel, Breakwood on the Raynor, Dead Wish on that Medivh, Legacy on the Ana, and Masquerade on the Imperious.
We'll go ahead, look at our level 1s, and look what our first engagement will be. I do want to point out here, In the past, I think we talked about this yesterday a little bit. Gul'dan sometimes would pick up the Pursuit of Flame at level 1, which is their Q talent, or their Foe Flame. This is gonna be Echoed Corruption for the Gul'dan, so they're gonna be utilizing a lot of damage over time and trying to stack that up, as they actually already have 5 stacks on that. That is a questing talent with 40 stacks necessary, and they just got 5 in the first 20 seconds of the game. It's those moments right there are just really, really cool, because it's rare when you can just build up your stacks that quickly. Also to note, for the Medivh, already at 11 out of the 40 stacks of their own. Power slide from the ETC coming out. This is a lot of damage onto Zergling, who's trying to get out of here. Spear coming out from the Sonya will be enough. Dauntless won't save you this time, Yrel, and that'll be first blood over to our blue team, who continues to fight in this mid lane, Khroen.
And Wit with the power slide there, not connecting. A good dodge there by Masquerade. Will back up to safety here. And this is a good sign for the blue team here. Getting that kill, showing that this is a team comp that we can skirmish with, we can brawl with, and get a lead. Seeing some more aggression, actually some constant aggression, as Noah goes in onto Breakwood with the Tracer Bomb. Not finding the kill though, and a great Gladiator's Medallion there to mitigate that power slide from the ETC there, as Breakwood is going to get healed up. And okay, get a little bit of lull in the action here, but these teams are not giving us a moment to breathe, Baha.
My heart literally just skipped a beat when that power slide came through, and then I saw the medallion, just the pinkish swirl come off from Breakwood, and I was like, wow, the anticipation of ETC to utilize that there. It's a 5-minute cooldown for just a power slide, but that power slide could have yielded them a kill. And I love that Breakwood was like, yes, I'll burn this, but I'm going to keep myself alive, and I'm not going to yield over any experience to the enemy team, as they are a little bit ahead here due to the fact that they have that early game kill. It's going to be about 300 experience, but still, you have the double soak rotations through mid to bottom, camps grabbed across the board, and our solo lane will be Yrel versus Sonya. First objective phase will be mid lane, and it will be Arcane Punisher.
Zergling looking for an engage here onto Gia, onto the Gul'dan, and actually gets the knockback. Masquerade gets the follow-up, but the medallion comes out there and will back up to safety, though. Wit with a good knockback there. Masquerade's in trouble.
Masquerade has a portal, and they're able to get through, protected by the way from Deadwish. Just to let everyone know, questing talent-wise, Deadwish has 20 out of the 40 Arcane Rift stacks. We are 2 minutes and 20 seconds in, and they're halfway done with what I would consider one of the hardest talents in the game to finish. Maybe, you know what, maybe Hanzo target practice at level 1, maybe that one for me at least, but it's a very, very hard talent to finish out. And also for anyone that does not know, if Medivh does die before finishing those quests, before finishing this baseline quest, they will lose all stacks. It's not like Hanzo with Redemption at level 1 where you lose a couple, it's every single one. Also to note, Gul'dan at 17 out of the 40 stacks on that Echoed Corruption. Just want to keep you all up to date on any of the questing talents that are popping up here. And just to note, ETC did go into Party Block at level 1 just to give the friendly team a little more armor, as Zergling goes in for the invade. Will they be able to make this happen here, Khroen?
It looks like the members of Red Team are rotating here. Zergling on the point already, Baha. How's this fight gonna go?
Righteous Hammer knocks them away. They have the Pulse Bomb onto one. They actually got protected, so nothing really happened. Face Melt from ETC is going to be popping Zergling around. Celestial Charge coming in from Masquerade, as well as Yasuo's trying to poke on them on the right side of the screen. We do have another fight breaking out, as Medivh is just trying to deal with, I think, the Tracer over there, or someone. Sonya. Tracer actually got picked off. There's going to be an Imperious trade. Sonya goes down. The camp still goes over to the blue team. Raynor goes down, and this is going to overall be a 2-for-2 trade, and the camp still goes over to the blue team. I'd say that was pretty much a win for blue team.
Yeah, 2-for-2 trade. They got the camp there. Red team is going to be able to rotate to the bottom lane, Zergling to soak. They need level 7s. Level 7s were achieved faster for the blue team. They will get a shrine advantage here. The Gul'dan has such good shrine clear. They're able to group up all those skeletons, and yes, maybe do just that. They're already up to 16, about to be at 20, but now is the time for Red to make something happen.
7's up on both sides. Imperious stepping in, looking for some sort of Celestial Charge. Misses the setup right there as Deadwish continues to stack up their Arcane Rift baseline at 33 out of the 40 stacks on that necessary. 23 on the Echo Corruption for the Gul'dan, and Zergling's going to jump in here, gets the Righteous Hammer around, but Sleepy Bear finds the Ancestral Spear into them. There's going to be a Celestial Charge into Wit. This is such a split fight. Breakwood supplying some pepper from a distance, but it seems like Whoopi's going to be able to throw some Fel Flames out, and they should solidify this objective phase onto the blue team. First objective will be Arcane, will be mid lane. Portal out from Deadwish, who's at 38 stacks, and they get Masquerade out, but Punisher moving in through mid lane.
Yep, Punisher jumps over a good protect there by Deadwish. The Tracer Bomb comes out but isn't able to finish off Masquerade there. Deadwish has completed the Medivh quest, so no fear of dying now, can play more aggressive. Of course, you don't want to die as any hero in the game, but now it's a bit less, bit less in the priority of needing to survive to finish that quest.
When I every so often play Medivh and ARAMs, and I'm playing with friends, the moment I finish my quest, which is usually about 14 minutes into the game, I scream to my friends in comms, "Time to feed!" and then I portal forward. I don't go through it, of course, but it's always fun just to be like, here's a portal, let's go fight and lose.
Yeah.
Anyways, it is a big thing to know, though, that they did finish that out. We have 30 stacks on the Echoed Corruption. They only need 10 more on that Ghoul. Dan, just peeking at some of the talents themselves, looks like Sonya is going to be going into this Whirlwind base level 4 and level 7. So they have the root and slow removal with the Whirlwind, but they also have that life funnel to be able to sustain themselves a little bit more during these objective phases, because everyone's going to be stacked up on these camps, or excuse me, on this objective, and they can heal through the skeletal defenders as well as through the enemy members that are all around this objective phase. Speaking of, next one will be top lane as ETC finds a power slide onto Masquerade, but I expect them to be able to back out of here, Khroen.
Yep, a good portal there from Deadwish, making sure everyone is safe. They're Deadwish keeping track of the members of the blue team as they have achieved level 10 talent tier. You don't want ETC to flank on your members and get a big mosh, and we do have Mosh Pit indeed being the pickup, and the rest of the heroics are very standard on the side of the blue team. We have Horrify, Wrath, Sound Barrier, and Quantum Spike being the pickup there for Tracer.
And I would say that's probably the most common that I see, the Quantum Spike, which is Pulse Bomb deals an additional 6% of the maximum health of the damaged heroes. Portal out from Medivh is going to save Masquerade. The fort should be going down. Pulse Bomb onto Breakwood. They're going to get the recall. They don't get the kill. Still going to back off, but they need the healing from Legacy as this mid lane fort goes down, and that'll be periodic catapult pressure in favor for the blue team, as well as some passive experience gain. Khroen, we have our next objective popping up in top lane. We'll jump into the comms for one of the teams around that time. Which one do you want to kind of jump into? Because both of these teams have really interesting compositions, and the comms could be, well, interesting for both.
Yeah, these fights have gotten, like, there's been multiple fights in every single one, but I think the blue team, perhaps, seeing how they're approaching this, we see some engages happening here. They are looking, there's a lot of Wit ETC power slides that have been trying to make kills happen, but then, of course, Deadwish on the Medivh, preventing those kills from happening. But blue has been aggressive, they are in the lead, so I want to see how they are looking to maintain that.
We'll jump into their comms in just a little bit here. We'll wait for the objective phase. Right now, it seems like it's a little bit of that posturing. And actually, I was waiting exactly for this. I was like, we're so close to this. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into their comms ahead of time. And let's listen to the blue team during this objective phase and maybe during a big fight.
Scouting. Okay, guys. Sonya on Shrine, okay? We want Sonya on Shrine, and then the rest of us out.
Make sure you call Protect. Once Protect's down, I can just solo kill somebody.
I'm just gonna go straight. I'm not gonna mid. I'm going straight.
We ready spot. We should start.
Yeah. Sonya gonna try and insta. Sonya gonna try and insta.
We want the
rest push.
Yeah, we get the first 10 heroes.
Eurelis gonna flank from probably here now, so we keep that in mind.
Yeah, I can.
He's polybomb, not leyline. He's polybomb.
You slide, right? Or Lucky Raw. I'm fine.
No.
We just want
push. We just want
yeah,
push.
just keep hitting monkeys. Yeah.
I'm
gonna tap. Let me tap first.
Yep, I'm out.
I need to clear the camp now.
Careful, Sonya. They're coming to Sonya.
They missed this one.
Okay. I'm clearing wave.
We can kite out the mid. We can kite out.
Yeah, we don't have to fight right now.
Carry these. No. We have to get out.
I mean, yeah, but I'm set.
My lag.
Oh, nice.
Get back.
I'm harassing back.
I'm gonna fear here.
Holding for Protect.
Can we put this Masquerade?
You go. I've slide in one. Keep going. We'll try now, I think.
Got him.
Very good. Keep going.
Go Shrine.
Yeah.
I think Sonya can soak, and when the rest is Shrine. What to soak?
Yep. I got two.
Can you hear me in the voice or not? Because I spammed that I was slept, so I couldn't get that.
Really good comms there. There's actually, it was pretty clear comms as we were talking yesterday in the terminology is you know, they're poly, not leyline seal. You know, I'm getting flanked. I need to back off. My lag. So I'm going to Horrify. Actually, that Horrify call was insane. That actually saved Yasu from getting dove on. And also, Yasu had a just near-death break it down. Really well played. But the members of our blue team are going to grab the second objective phase for top lane.
Yeah, and they're continuing to push here. I do want to take a moment after maybe the blue team rotates out to break down what we heard in those comms here. But for now, the Punisher jump over does land onto Masquerade. The rest of the blue team members at least want to get this wall before backing up. Will we see a re-engage upon the level 13 talent tier? For the red side, it doesn't look like we're gonna see that. So actually, yeah, I want to take a moment to go back to those comms. They were having a solid plan going into that shrine phase. They're saying Sonya on the shrine, the rest of us are gonna play off of it. They were watching for where the Yrel was looking to flank. Actually, though, Yrel getting a good stun onto the Lucio there, but I think they're gonna back out here.
They're trying to back out. ETC is encore as well, so if anyone's wondering if they've got the massive cooldown reduction from that level 13, they absolutely do. Sleepy Bear gets Celestial Charge, but turns around because the friendly team's around. They're looking to invade onto this. Legacy over on the right-hand side is just trying to make sure they posture so they don't get potentially flanked, and they're not opening up an avenue for them to maybe get peeled away from their friendly side. And I think this is a little bit of poke here and there, but they back off. Portal's set up to get them out because they need to deal with the mid lane pressure. And Sleepy Bear and friends, I think they can grab some camps, and this is kind of their map to rotate around and control still.
It is. Get a bit of moment of reprieve. These teams have been looking for such engages, such, you know, just skirmishing throughout the whole game. But all right, a moment for the blue team to get all of these siege camps on the map here. And they're going to pressure into the bottom lane. Tracer actually forced to recall, has to use the medallion and get out there. But the polybomb coming on Yasuo.
ETC powered at the last second, and they didn't get polybombed. I thought they were going to, and that might have saved Yasuo, but they were so very low, and they did break it down, so it might have just been like a split second, or just, it's so close to just getting that break it down in time. Unfortunately not the case, and they will find that kill onto the Lucio, bolstering their experience a little bit on that red side, trying to get closer to at least even experience and levels, because at least they can hit 16 at the same time. Our next objective will be Frozen Punisher in mid lane, and if the members of the blue team can get this, they're going to be stepping to a keep front gate with this Punisher, and we'll be scaled into this game quite a bit, where they could definitely confirm a keep.
Yes, they will. And that kill was so important there, which means that the red team has the potential not only to invade this bruiser camp here, but also get 16s. Ooh, okay, good sidestep there to dodge. They won't actually secure the camp. I thought maybe with playing around the timer of the Lucio there, they could have just burst out the camp and backed off. They were looking for a kill, though, that would end up being more XP if they're able to find it, but the portal actually towards the bruiser camp here. Want to take a moment to highlight the Medivh play from Deadwish. In both of these last team fights, the Lucio actually fell in that last one, and Lucio's not an easy hero to kill. With the speed that Lucio has, is almost always just able to speed away, like we saw in the top lane, but nearly falling. But the great timing of the polybomb, calling that out, and the rest of the members focusing Lucio exactly was enough to get that kill. And now, because of that, the red team will pick up their 16s before we get underway into our shrine phase here.
They needed exactly this moment and just that much experience to find this. As Celestial Charge comes out, won't be onto anyone. Push off from Lucio into Masquerade as they're trying to provide some harassment. Zergling is going to jump in, but will not find any sort of setup outside of just pushing people away. Objective phase is up and available, and Sonya doing what Sonya does best, which is clear the objective, utilizing the rest of the friendly team to just kind of poke back the enemy side as everyone's trying to play and step up for something here. Yasuo is just having harassment on Zergling. There's going to be the Angelic Armament out from Masquerade as well, but no one really getting low. Breakwood is going to get hit with the pulse bomb, but there's the protection from Death Wish, and now Angelic Armament coming out. I don't think it found a kill, but Noah was so very low from that. Portal back over towards the objective, and it looks like our blue team is holding this over Khroen for now as Wit finds a power slide, knocking them back with the face melt. Can they actually finish this out or even find a kill as the polybomb comes out onto Sleepy Bear?
And the Lucio sound barrier comes out, and they want to keep aggressing, but some good kiting back and re-engage actually by the red team here. The launch pit goes down onto 2.
They're going to find that right there. Echoed Corruption from Gul'dan onto Legacy, which has the step back, and Legacy's so low they push off. There's the Pulse Bomb onto Breakwood. They find the Imperius as well. Breakwood goes down. Triple kill for the blue team, and now they're going to find this quad kill into Death Wish. They get the Death Wish, they get the protection, and they're able to get through the gate, so only losing 3, but objective. Third one of the game, and I believe third one for the members of our blue team will be pushing up to a keep front gate. They're going to back off, clear top lane, and get some extra pressure for this objective.
I like this a lot, holding the shrine at 38, 39 even. They're going to have time for Sleepy Bear on the Sonya to clear top lane, Gul'dan to clear the bottom wave, but they do want to utilize their advantage right now while the members of the red team are still dead. So I think this lines up perfectly. The Gul'dan is rotating. They got the siege camp. The Punisher is moving down this middle lane. And just now, Brigwood on the Rainer spawns, but they're already getting damage onto this mid wall here.
Sonya pops Wrath of Berserker. They go ahead and sidewall a little bit. Punisher already stepping in. They're going to make sure that they get the entire gate that allows the entire camp to come through with them as well. Tracer blinking forward. There's going to be a lot of those circles on the ground. Those, if they do hit the structure, will lock it down, meaning it doesn't fire against the enemy team. So they have some free pressure on this keep as well as the enemy team as the keep goes down. And they're going to back off here. Khroen, they don't want to end with this. They don't feel like there's enough damage or even health on the Punisher to anchor for them. They back off and look for 20s.
I like that. Very smart move.
Yep.
They are going to look for 20s here. They don't want to over-aggress, allow red team to get some kills, and then be even 20 talent tier for the next Punisher phase. Rather, they're going to just want to be level 20s up on the level 17 of the red team. But they're looking for some aggression here, actually, on Sleepy Bear before that could happen.
Sonya, split from the friendly team, is going to be using their Gladiator's Medallion. Horrified from Gul'dan comes out, but it's a bit too late as they find the counter kill into Medivh. 1-for-1 so far in this engagement as Mosh Pit's dropped from the ETC. No interrupt, I don't think, coming out onto that, but ETC does get burned down during all of that. They lose their Tracer as well. Gul'dan trying to supply as much damage as possible, but this is a 1-for-3 in favor for our blue team. Unfortunately for them, they have to spend the majority of this win in this fight clearing out the lanes that were pressed into them, and we talked about this in the draft. Their wave clear's so low. Yasu's still trying to pressure Legacy, but Khroen, I don't think they're gonna... Oh, this might have been overstep, actually. Okay, no, they get out. Maybe?
I mean, the Gul'dan sleep, though, yeah, so actually, Sound Bears, they just really want to kill Legacy on the Ana right now. You are Lucio, so you are
Lucio?
a speedy boy. Ooh. All right, actually, playing with fire there. But okay, that's confidence that I both like and dislike, because if that had resulted in Yasu dying, that would be like a big old question mark there. You know, the pressure was fine. I think the Gul'dan was in a good position to try to make something happen there. They could get a cheeky kill, but there's actually like really no need to do that in this scenario. You're already up level 20s. You don't want to give the red team any kills over to get their 20 talent tier. Also, that being said, going back to the good identification of the blue team backing up, not wanting to let red get some kills and get 20s was good. However, the unfortunate part there, though, was like they weren't watching the rotations happening. You need to have someone anchoring to watch that so that your members don't get picked off and a fight like that doesn't happen. But they were greeting this at, oh, red team won't fight right now. We're about to be 20s, right? But they weren't just yet. So some really good plays by red. But now the fear actually coming out from Gul'dan in the bottom lane onto Masquerade.
They're getting low. The portal will be there, but Wit's on the opposing side with a power slide and bops them into the wall. They're going to go down. Really well played. I also want to point out, Up the Frequency was picked up by Yasu. I rarely see this level 16 picked up for any Lucio player. Typically, it's the percent-based healing, the one that I can never pronounce the properly. But this is basically Up the Frequency is hitting enemy heroes with basic attacks, reduce the cooldown of Amp It Up by 0.4 seconds, and you have a passive that's additional as well. Wall Ride increases basic attack range by 2.2. And I feel like I only see... I've seen like rare Lucio players, like Banana's a good example. Yesterday we were talking about this in Yasu, as well as these aggressive Lucio players who are just in the last engagements we saw. Like Gul'dan and Lucio were the only two alive, and they were still 1 or 2v4ing-ish in that engagement. Like the level of confidence in some of these Lucio players is almost inspiring in a sense, because like I never see Up the Frequency, but I think the way that they're playing this Lucio is such a good talent for them. Like this is going to be an exciting Shrine number 4, and it is going to be a Mortar Punisher. If they can grab this on the blue team, they're once again pushing a keep, but this could be them pushing the final keep of the game and maybe even pushing 2 core.
Red team has to make something happen once Imperius does get there. They did have that death timer, so now blue team already 20 skeletal defenders up. A portal actually to make sure Masquerade gets there quickly. I like that. You cannot let blue team maintain control of the shrine, so now they get some skeletal defenders of their own. Masquerade looking for a celestial charge there. Yasu with the good boop as this fight breaks underway.
There's going to be Dead Wish dropping down. Noah's going to be sticking onto them. They pop their pulse bomb onto them immediately. Yasuo's going to amp it up as well. There's going to be a portal. There's a nano boost onto someone right now. Imperius is going to be that target with the Angelic Armament. They use I believe they actually used the Gladiator's Medallion to just try and Celestial's charge. They weren't interrupted by that one, but this is kind of a fight going over to the red team. It's so much chaos right now, Khroen, that really no one's going down. It's really surprising. It's just a lot of sustained damage as Sleepy Bear just lives through all this. 37 skeletal defenders in favor for the blue team, and they could look for something here. The Horrify comes out. That's going to be the push-off, and they find the Urel immediately. They're going to look at Sonya as well. Legacy so very low, as well as Breakwood. There's a portal for them. Does Legacy get through in time? They managed to do so. Meanwhile, Tracer still has the damage, but they're going to go down as this is a 4v1, and Tracer can't do that well, but they find the Rainer. Still, Punisher pushing through bottom lane. Catapult currently on core. Khroen, this game is looking very healthy for the blue team.
Deadwish, can Deadwish survive here? The Protect comes out, but Blue is just marching towards the red team's core. The Punisher's in the bottom lane. The Catapults were breaking the shield there in the top. Okay, Deadwish will be able to go into that bird form. It will be safe, but the Punisher, near full HP right now, still at 77% here. 3 members are alive for each team here. Can they hold this one?
Bottom lane keep goes down. That'll be that. Punisher moves in towards core. 14 on the Urel, and we have 24 on Breakwood coming back right now as Masquerade pops their angelic armament. I think they were nano boosted for that as well. Yeah. Deadwish trying to get some damage onto Yasuo as they 1v1 casually. The core is gonna fall, and this will be blue team picking up one of the games in our 3-game series. GG, well played. Khroen, what an amazing first set we had today. I am blown away. We had so many. I'll be honest, the thing that steps out to me or stands out the most still, Abathur Samuro game 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about anything that's from these 3 games that really stand out for you?
A lot, actually. I kind of want to take a moment to unpack a little bit of it before we
Sure.
get underway, because we will have an interview in just a few minutes. But last game, Gia, aka Whoopi, on that Gul'dan, 0 deaths, the only deathless player in that game, 71,000 hero damage, the highest in the game. We were looking, early on in the game about like how how fast the Gul'dan quest is stacking versus the Medivh. Of course, Medivh finished it first because it's an easier quest to complete, but still, very quickly, very quickly, that quest was being able to be completed, and then there was a great fear towards the end there onto the Ana to end up getting that kill eventually, which led to them being able to push towards the core. Like the fears were so on point in that last game. Oh man, I'm just like thinking so much about the last game, but there was 3 games like that has so many good moments. The fights were so just chaotically well played though. Like, even specifically the last game, there were fights oftentimes on multiple fronts there where teams were having to juggle, how do I kite back here? How do I play with the Medivh? How do I, Noah on that Tracer looking to go in, looking for those openings? There's just a lot of chaos, but at the end of the day, the blue team was able to take that last one though. But yeah, again, as you said, game number 1, the Samuro Abathur, and then game number 2, what was it? The Volskaya game. The Tyrael game from the red team. How well they executed that. There's just, oh man, it's just these players are so good. I know, right? Casting some high level Here's the Storm, because these are the hopefuls for the CCL season, the players that orgs are looking to pick up and have them really shine. So man, everyone is looking real good here.
We can go ahead and take a peek at our red team rosters. They are going to be the overall winners from today. Breakwood, Deadwish, Zergling, Legacy, and Masquerade will be the players from that red team that took a 2-1 in our 3-game series today. We actually have an interview with Masquerade ready to go, so we're actually going to pull them on in here. And congratulations on your 2-1 victory here, Masquerade. How are you feeling after our 3-game set?
Yo, what's up? Feeling good. Thought it was.
Did we lose you?
Hello?
I heard you illuminate for a second, and then.
Yo, what's up?
I hear. Are we good? I hear him.
Oh, I don't hear. Okay, so I need to restart my Discord then. So Khroen, go ahead and ask questions away.
All right, sounds good. Masquerade, again, congratulations on your victory. You had those 2 maps. I want to start off with looking towards game number 2. You had played Tyrael. Now, Tyrael is a very hard hero to utilize in coordinated play even, but you made it look very good. What was the thought process behind that Tyrael pick there? And kind of like, how did you look to make that work there?
It was the only hero I could pick on this account. It was looking good. I mean, it's not only this only factor because we can always swap around, Yeah. But it's good hero to bully Ana and backlaners, so I can save people with Sancts. Good synergy with Greyman. So yeah.
I can hear Masquerade now, so congratulations again. I want to actually talk about that sanctification because you had an insanely awesome sanctification play on Volskaya Foundry in the bottom lane. Like it was like you, Greymane, and one other were like somewhere in the 500 health range, like all 3 of you. You pop Sank and Greymane just turns around and goes for the throat. What are comms like in those moments when are you just like, I got to do it now? Or is it like, oh, we're going to prep for sanctification? Because we're talking as casters, that's not an easy talent to communicate and use, especially when you're with a bunch of people that you don't typically play with.
Well, I don't quite remember the time you're speaking of, but yeah, usually I just yell Sanct and hopefully people run towards me, and we hope for the best. Yeah, but it's 4 people I never played with, 400 people, so we just yeah, it's harder to communicate because we don't know how we play together, but yeah, we just yell random stuff and hope for the best.
Khroen, do you have any final questions for Masquerade here?
Yeah, I guess like Masquerade, I just want to get some of your overall perspective and insight coming into these exhibition matches. Like this is a big deal, right? This is what all of the orgs are going to be looking at to draft players for the CCL. What was kind of your mental thoughts coming into these matches? Like, what did you come in here today looking to prove? Like, was it that you're a consistent player, able to play a bunch of different heroes? Like, kind of just what's your overall thoughts? Were you nervous at all coming into this? Just kind of your perspective there.
Only for exhibition match?
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
exhibition
yeah.
matches.
Well, I don't care that much, to be honest. I just play because it's a game, It was that or in-house, so let's do it exhibition. I don't mind. I don't care that much about showing stuff. Maybe I get into CCL, maybe I don't. For Europeans, it's kind of shitty hours and stuff, so it's not like. I mean, we don't all want to be absolutely in CCL at all costs. And sure, it's good for the ego, but it's just another game for me.
Well, you all here to hear first. Thank you, Masquerade, for the interview. Congratulations once again on your
Thanks.
2-1 today, and you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you guys, and have fun.
Thank you. Alrighty, everyone. That was our first 3-game series of the day, and we're not done just yet. We're going to take a small break. We're going to go ahead and get new players into a new lobby. We're going to get ourselves some more water, maybe have a snack, and then we will be back with more Heroes CCL presented by Roll20. See you all very soon. Welcome back to HeroesCCL presented by Roll20. I am Bahamut, and I am joined by Khroen once again. How are you feeling after our short little break? Are you ready for our next series of the day?
I'm feeling good. Break to re-energize and get excited for this upcoming series. Of course, it will be 3 games, not a best of 3, but 3 straight game series. But all 10 new players and some that I am definitely excited to check out as we get into the rosters here, Baha.
You said it first. We've got 10 new players. Let's go ahead and check out what those rosters will be. For our blue team, we're going to have Azerite, Darkmok, Fury, Make, and Valimar. Khroen, who's on that red team?
Over on the red side, we have Caesar, Salad, Carbon, Funds, Tremor, and Winterheart.
I'll be honest here, there's a lot of names that stand out to me. Winterheart's an insanely talented assassin player. We've got, Fury's got some interesting tank plays, maybe a little Uther shenanigan main tank, we'll see. Overall, Khroen, any quick heroes that are players that stand out to you?
I think a couple. Make, I want to see what Make is going to pull out. I've seen some great Tracer plays from Make. Fury, obviously one of the greats in terms of tank players, and on the other side, Funds, I think a really strong solo laner.
Well, we'll have to see what happens with that. First things first, though, or I guess last things last, before we get into our draft, let's find out how we got to our first map. The members of the red team banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Garden of Terror. So unfortunately, we won't see Belith and oh my god, I was trying to learn it before the stream. Alarian,
no.
I think is the name. So it's a Beleth and Alarian is on Battlefield of Eternity. We have the Garden of Terror ban as well. Dragonshire and Sky Temple were banned out by our blue team. First map was the red team, meaning first pick priority goes over to our blue side. But we are here. We are ready to go. Volskaya Foundry is the first map of our final three-game series of the day. And Khroen, I mean, I love this map. Like, this is probably my fourth favorite map in Heroes of the Storm because it operates a little bit like Infernal Shrines. You have these areas where everyone has to come and brawl over them. You don't have skeletal defenders. You have to charge the point to get a Triglav Protector. And so we typically see a lot of brawling Chromie. We see these Urel plays. Anything that stands out to you within our CCL meta, do we see more Medivh? Do we see more D.Va?
I think we might have a Medivh player in this game, so I would not be surprised to see a bit of that prioritization there. We did see our first Medivh gameplay in the last series, as well as our first Tracer gameplay. We did see one ban beforehand, though, and we might see some more prioritization on it here with Make being on the blue team. The Ana, actually, I don't think we've seen at least a first rotation Ana ban. So that's something new, the Urel and the Chromie being very standard, but not wanting to, maybe be baited into having to deny the Ana or the Li Ming to kind of stop that pairing there. But there's a bunch of other heroes that are still available that are very, very strong, though.
Yeah, this is last ban coming out. There's so many different directions. Do you go Medivh? Do you go D.Va? What do you want to deny from the enemy team?
Okay.
It is going to be that Medivh. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of first hot pick onto D.Va.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of do you think there's a priority from the red team at this point to consider Deckard Cain due to the fact of what we saw in the previous three-game series with the stay a while and listen plus the mecha explosion?
That is interesting, because while that was utilized, I think once, it didn't find any kills, and I don't actually think that same combo really yielded into anything too impactful over the course of the rest of the game. The Junkrat is going to come out here for the side of the red team and Garrosh. I absolutely love these two picks here. I'm actually excited to talk about this a lot, because you are going to control the points so well. Not only the shrine points, but also the healing camps. There is no way that any members of the opposing team are going to be able to siege onto that if you have good positioning there. If one member makes it on, Garrosh to throw them out. Another member gets on, Junkrat mine to mine them out. You have Junkrat traps. I think we'll probably see that steel trap build come out there as well. So it's just so much point control. As long as they are able to stay in the driver's seat in this game, they are going to be able to dictate the flow of where everything happens.
Getting into our next ban phase, we do have a D.Va, Malfurion, Li Ming on the left-hand side, so I'd expect a tank priority ban coming out from the members of our red team, or some other sort of assassin that would pair into them. Do they consider the Greymane themselves, or do they ban it away? Because Greymane pairs into Li Ming fairly well here. Those are kind of the two directions I'm looking at this ban phase coming out, and it actually is going to be a variant. They're afraid of the single target lockdown maybe coming out from Fury, so they charge in, they get the taunt, and then Li Ming finds a combo, Malfurion has a root. You could go Strangling Vines, which is going to reduce the healing you receive from whatever healers on the the red team. So I like this variant ban. It's actually it's not a hero we see prioritized too often, but he is a very strong tank within the composition being built on the enemy side.
Not only that, but Fury does like playing Variant a lot, actually, as well. So maybe a little bit of a target ban there. We do see the Deckard ban actually come out there, as you were alluding to earlier. The Deckard priority there. What healer is Red Team going to pick up in this scenario? There's a couple that are good into D.Va specifically. Malfurion, one of those, is already picked up by the blue team, but Stukov, I think, is going to be a great pickup for the Red Team here.
I would love that as well. You have the slows, which allow Garrosh to maybe step in with Indomitable to maybe get a toss. You have the concussion mine. Like, it's just, there's a lot of setup for Garrosh and the Junkrat, and that's a really good call, Khroen. And we do have a Blaze to round out their solo lane at least. So that would be Blaze into D.Va. Well, at least for now. I mean, I don't expect to main tank D.Va. Okay, yes, exactly. There we go. So Joanna will be our main tank, and they're actually going to grab a Vala here. Greymane's up and available, but they're going to show off a little bit of Vala prowess. There's actually been some priority into Vala in our CCL exhibition matches in, the past roughly 9 that we've had. I think there's been at least 1 or 2 Vala games, and they've been winning games too.
Yeah, definitely at least one. I think that Vala is a solid hero, not one that's, prioritized by any means, but one that you can take as a solid DPS pick to round out, the 4-5 pick in the draft there. And on the other side, we're going to have Sylvanas picked up. So that's a pretty solid hero. They're going to have a lot of push potential, a lot of point potential to hold there with the Garrosh and the Junkrat. And Blaze, actually, you're talking about that solo lane matchup, which will actually be the thing because Johanna is the main take on their side there. But Blaze is huge in terms of controlling points. He has those slows. He's able to throw down. Garrosh can walk up and be able to at least force a Gladiator's Medallion, maybe that 5-minute cooldown, or get a Groundbreaker into a toss at that point. And Junkrat to follow up, Stukov to follow up. There's just so many options for pick potential on the side of the red team here.
I think that their execution is really, really good for them. Like executing enemy members. I mean, it's like a lot of people might say like, but the burst on the enemy team is way bigger with multi-shot and combos from Li Ming. You're absolutely correct, but Junkrat and Sylvanas together, I think, are a little. They're just not valued in the same way or looked at properly. I think like. They're undervalued in a lot of people's eyes. That's what I'm trying to say right there. Is Junkrat does have burst potential, like a lot of decent burst potential, especially within the Riptire. And also you can go into extra oomph at level 20, which is 25-second cooldown reduction on your heroic, which is 75 seconds. So as long as you hit 3 heroes, you basically can just spam Riptires. Speaking of spamming Riptires, we can spam into game as we have our Volskaya Foundry map set and ready to go. On the left-hand side, we have the members of our blue team. We have got Azerite on Li Ming. Make is going to be playing the Vala. We've got Valimar on the Malfurion, Fury on the Joanna, and Darkmach on the Diva.
And over on our red side, we have a Winterheart on the Sylvanas. We have Tremor on the Garrosh, Carbon on the Junkrat, Caesar Salad on the Stukov, and Funds on the Blaze.
Moving into mid lane, checking out our level 1s, we can go ahead and see that Blaze is going to be going into the new habits at level 1 for their self-cleanse on that Pyromania. They also will have cooldown reduction on Pyromania from regeneration globes. We also do have the the Warbreaker for the Garrosh at level 1, which is going to be 15 stacks on that. There are 2 rewards. There's a damage over time and a cooldown reduction when you hit the 15 stacks. So we'll keep you all up to date on all that information. Also to note, Li Ming did go into power hungry, so those regeneration globes will be increasing their damage as the Junkrat harassment has already begun with some concussion mines between the rotations.
However, that was one trade there on the side of the blue team. Azerite landing that combo on Li Ming onto Carbon the Junkrat there. We saw some really great Li Ming plays. Actually, Tremor looking for a rotation pick here, but is able to be forced back by some good bodying there by Fury. Actually, Winterheart is dropping very low here, is able to get that Haunting Wave to safety, able to tap and then rotate to the fortification camp here to get that turret.
I thought I heard it, and I thought I saw it. I clicked, and definitely Winterheart actually did use Gladiator's Medallion there as well. So it was a Gladiator's Medallion and a short distance Haunting Wave. Not easy to do. Like it's not so much about like they use Gladiator's Medallion. It's just the amount of mechanical skill that went into doing what they just did, because that's not an easy button combination to be able to get all of that in the proper order to make sure you're not going to get picked off in any way, shape, or form. So little things like that stand out to me when I'm casting some of these games. As Make gets the vault away, there's a root underneath. Tremors are losing so much health, but Funds comes in with the Jet Propulsion. The Shield Glare is not enough, and 50 health is roughly what Tremor walks away with.
Li Ming, I love it. Blinked forward there to get the auto to secure the kill. It wasn't enough, but I love the spacing actually from Azerite here. Even with Garrosh running mounted at Azerite, he stopped to auto and then blink away. You need to create that space into Garrosh there, so some great range DPS kind of like perspective there on how you need to be approaching this game. But the siege camps are going to be starting to get picked up here for the red team, at least doing theirs. Vala is going to make her way to the left siege camp to start that, so they get those underway before the objective spawns.
This is what I was talking about, what we just saw. We just were looking at the red team. I was talking about this in the last game, that they, are they going to hold their siege camp? Are they going to immediately throw it into lane? And typically I feel like a lot of teams hold this much in the same way as like how you want to grab the shaman camp or the bruiser camp on Infernal Shrines or Battlefield of Eternity. You want to be able to have that split off lane pressure during an objective phase to force someone to rotate out of lane or rotate out of objective to just clear that out. Li Ming will blink, does have the slow. That's going to be a Groundbreaker. Toss goes out. Azerite in a bit of an awkward spot. This Stukov just chunked the Li Ming, but unfortunately not able to find a second auto, and they'll be able to live for now as they blink away from the oil slick from Blaze.
A lot of aggression, but still the kills are 0-0. I suspect that will change as our control point seems to be unlocked. And Vala, actually, Mage gets thrown in, places the turret, but the counter aggression from Fury there, trying to create space for his ranged DPS there. Azurite gets booped in by the Junkrat concussion mine. Fun's in a bit of an awkward spot here, is able to run away and actually survive at the end of the day, but these red team members, their HP bars are getting chunked.
Tremor needs to Hearth, or maybe they'll just get healed up by Caesar Salad. We have Azurite split from the friendly side. They're going to get a whole lot of damage from Winterheart right there, and they won't be able to find any sort of kill into each other. This is still top lane pressure coming through in favor for the members of the red team, as they do have that camp up there, and it looks like Sylvanet's going to clear one more wave and try and push them closer to that 7 talent tier, as the opposing side does have their level 7 already.
Level 7's now achieved for the red team as teams are posturing for this control point again. Fury eating a bunch of damage here to start things off as Darkmock actually on the Diva, but Fury keep pressing forward.
Cleanse was used onto the Joanna as well, as they're trying to work their way out with the Iron Skin on top of that. We did see Festering Wounds picked up by Winterheart at level 7. It's the same thing we were talking about by Breakwood on the previous series on Dragonshire, where they're utilizing this Festering Wounds as an aggressive tool to get marks on the enemy members so they can burst them down, and that was why you're seeing the same thing happen to Fury right there. They're taking quite a bit of damage as I was watching Winterheart focus on them, specifically Fury, though, being tossed, will be forced to use the Iron Skin, but they meander their way out of there, forcing actually a Diva Mech Explosion. So many members are caught inside of this. Buns is able to get out of there with a Jet Propulsion. I think only Tremor got hit, and they'll just cycle out towards the lower half of the map. 99% in favor for the members of this blue team, and this looks like first Triglav Protector in their pocket.
It was good from Funds there to they'll be like, oh, there is a huge mech explosion here. Where do I go? Can Jet Propulsion upwards, use that slow oil to buy space to escape there, but actually being body blocked by Darkmock here on the bottom side. I don't think this will be resulting in a kill though, as there's not a lot of damage between Johanna and Diva. It's kind of close though, but getting that charge out, and the Protector is meanwhile pushing towards the top side here after getting the mid wall.
Winterheart doing their best to mark everyone up with the, I'm blanking on the name, the Banshee's Curse. There we go, the marks of Banshee's Curse. And so just throwing that Haunting Wave through. But this is a Triglav Protector that might not get the top lane well, and they're considering backing off because they do not want to get caught out. It's only Malfurion and Vala underneath this. Garrosh has some setup, but there's no Warlord's challenges. We don't have 10 talent here for another level on the side of our red team and half a level for our blue team. Overall, still a strong first Triglav Protector in their favor.
Man, this is another Protector not getting this top well. Winterheart actually eating a bunch of damage from the Protector here in the top lane, but is able to escape there, it seems, as the counter aggression from Garrosh is coming through.
Good root from Valimar. Blaze actually got picked off in the mid lane from the Li Ming combo, so they're going to be at least staggering out of death, and also allowing them to just push around them. No, not even push. They're just going to go ahead and grab the body command. They're like, cool, we got 10s. You're not going to step up and do us, and you don't even have your Blaze either. So they'll grab this body committer and be a little... They got some extra tools in their pocket for this control point B that will be popping up, I think, somewhere in the 8-minute mark in the game.
Fury actually booped over the wall there, but is still pretty safe. He's able to pop that Iron Skin and walk away safely. I love that rotation, able to identify that not only they can get the support camp, but then they can also rotate and get the top well, can finish the job that the Protector was not able to complete on its own there. We see a full level advantage, even though there is only 1 kill on the side of the blue team there. There has been 3 walls actually taken. Yeah, all the members of the red side fort walls are down, where all of the ones on the blue side are still up. And of course, again, that top well is going to be impactful when we get into this next control point phase.
We do also have, just a note here, we're going to have Tranquility for the Malfurion, so no Twilight Dream for the massive AoE silence. And I guess this kind of makes sense because Blaze and Garrosh will kind of be the ones on top of everyone. Sylvanas might be in there as well, but this is one of those situations where I think the healing output is a little bit more beneficial during this objective phase for the team, just to grab this Tranquility. Either way, this is just a lot of posturing as both teams are waiting for this objective phase, and they're actually going to try and force a wave in here. Maka getting a multi-shot out, as well as a little bit of damage into the minion wave from Azurite. And just to note as well, Blaze finished out the new habits at level 1. And Garrosh is 1 stack away. Actually, they just finished that out as well. There's going to be a Blessed Shield. Garrosh takes so much damage. Wave of Force is coming in as well. Warlord's Challenge is going to connect onto a few, but there's the Tranquility. That'll keep them very healthy. Fury going to heal back up, and they can push in through this top lane fort. Khroen, so very well played.
Oh, actually, Fury getting moved in there by Carbon on the Junkrat, though. That was a great play there. Fury didn't have that Iron Skin available, so that is able to be resulted in a kill and actually a support camp going the other way now. It's members of the red team. I was just about to praise, I mean, Fury, how well he played that. Of course, he still did play it super, super well, but some great plays by Carbon there on the Junkrat.
With this wave and with the range damage that they have, they should be able to poke at this, and we do have our objective phase up and available in 25 seconds, so we'll be seeing that soon. Everyone should be up and available. Should be 13s across the board. I know it's very close, but half a level shouldn't be too hard for the members of our red team to find, as Blaze will catch wave in bottom, Winterheart to do the same thing in mid, and they might lose a little bit of charge, but this should be an even talent tier fight coming up fairly soon over our control point B. They should be able to confirm top lane fort, though, on the blue side.
That kill was so instrumental. Talked about it, you know, in the last series. Getting kills when it means that results in an even talent tier so that you can fight the objective is just so huge. Like, that kill didn't happen, we wouldn't see 13s here yet. Wouldn't able to be have this contest happening. But either way, we'll see a 4v4 posturing here at the top lane as the tanks kind of step to each other. Trying to find something on the garage there, but Li Ming is able to space that quite well.
Chattering Teeth will zone the Joanna. They're going to connect right there. They're going to poke onto Joanna as the members of the blue team still have charge in their favor, rising near 50. That's a cleanse and a vault away from Make. That's going to be a toss onto Joanna, and I think they more or less force them away. It is even talent here, but they're just not able to find their footing or even just an angle to step into this enemy team right now on our red side.
No, Fury and Darkmok being able to provide so much space there. Members of the DPS, they do have mobility, so they are able to escape when Garrosh running towards them. Although the throw onto this trap, into the Stukov silence there for the D.Va, not able to get the mech explosion off.
Either way, they stand still for way too long, and Garrosh goes down to the combo from Li Ming. Azerite is going to be able to get one kill. Riptire is going to be searching someone out, and D.Va goes down to the Junkrat. A 1-for-1 trade when it comes to our assassins. Still have the members of the blue team on this point, and they're able to grab the second Trigger Up Protector of the game. Second one for them as well.
And I love that combo there, actually, for the members of the red team. I didn't quite realize that they had that kind of... it's pretty simple to execute. You just need a Junkrat, Seal Trap, Garrosh throws onto the trap, and then boom, a Stukov combo after that. There's nothing you can do. You're stunned, you're rooted, you're silenced. Like, it results in a kill, right? But the Garrosh actually ate so much damage. The members of the blue team are able to recognize when they can counter-aggress so effectively to dissuade that aggression from the red team there. We saw Fury do it multiple times earlier, and everyone seems to be on the same page here, and I'm sure that, you know, they're all being proactive in making those calls and identifying those situations.
We have mid lane fort going down, and I think they're just going to try and open up bottom lane right after. 30 seconds still. Actually, no, 30 seconds is only left on this. That's a lot of damage onto Azerite. They dive in, and that is they burst onto Li Ming. This blue Trigger Protector is now going to turn around and try and find a fight as Winterheart's being chased by the D.Va, but they have the concussion mine from Junkrat. Really well played from Carbon to save their Sylvanas player. And this looks like the objective is going to be rotated into bottom. They're going to get roughly 8 seconds, not even that. They'll get like a shot or two on this front gate, and the Trigger Protector will go down. They throw the Rocket Fist backwards just in case there is a potential jump onto them. They actually get one little bit of damage from the Gunner Seat, but that will be the end of our second objective phase. Khroen, pretty well played from our blue team, but I'll be honest, the red team, they're still holding their own in this game, even though they are a little bit down in experience.
Yeah, a little bit down, but at the end of the day, it's 3-3 in kills. There is still the opportunity for both teams to make some plays, because I think as the game goes on, the Junkrat's just going to get stronger and stronger, like we saw at level 20s. Actually, Garrosh maybe in wow, Fury there, able to with the Bless Shield to take down Garrosh. And another Li Ming combo from Az right there, chunking Caesar Salad. Will Caesar go down?
Micro missiles are too shy, but they boost and boop, and Li Ming finds the kill. This is Blaze trying to pop their Indomitable, and they use the Pyromania, and they're going to get some shielding from that, and that will keep them alive. The micro missiles almost finding damage into them. I want to say, just the raw micro missiles was what literally started that out for the members of the blue team. They were just like, I'm going to micro missile into this bush. Maybe they saw them rotate in there or something like that, but wow, Fury with just the Bless Shield. And that's a good example. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, don't burn your heroic just to get one kill. Sometimes burning a 60-second cooldown to solidify a kill that isn't even a 60-second death is so worthwhile, because now you have lane pressure, map pressure, and you can maybe open up bottom lane further for control point C. That will be announced here, and I believe somewhere in the 14-minute mark in the game. This is really, really well played in the late game by our blue team here, Khroen.
Oh, definitely. The recognition, like not only like, you know, utilizing your ultimate for a kill right here is definitely worth it. We're gonna see the blue members, yeah, kite back out here. But Winterheart actually taking an aggressive haunting wave in. Vala vaulting forward, punishing the aggression from Winterheart there as we have a Riptire come out and the Tranquility as well.
Riptire is actually canceled by just getting cleared out. Joanna's going to find the enemy team in the backline, but they just want funds. They just want the blaze. They tried to jet propulsion out, but they can't. Wave of Force is going to knock them around. Garrosh actually got pushed into the conveyor belt and will get bopped by D.Va. Li Ming jumps on top of their head, but D.Va still finds the kill, and Azerite is over the wall, and they're going to go down. A really good concussion mine from Carvin.
Carvin just keeps getting these high impact concussion mines that result in so many kills there. Of course, they're still going to be behind at the end of the day here, but at least they get that. If Gleaming was still alive, there would be a lot more aggression happening here, but actually, Caesar Salad pushing Darkmok into a fountain there, uses the mech explosion. Think will fall? Actually, no.
Nice play from Darkmok right there. Concussive Blast was actually picked up by the D.Va, so that allows them to, I believe it's, or excuse me, Concussive Pulse is level 13 from the Good to Go, but it allows them to knock back Winterheart for 1 second. They could then use the Torpedo Dash. That's going to be the Blessed Shield coming out from the Joanna. They're going to lock down Sylvanas. Concussion Mine will save Carbon for now, but the members of the blue team have this control point C up and available. Do you want to jump into their comms or into the red team's comms? Who do you want to hear here, Khroen?
I mean, it's a dire situation from the red team here. I think I want to see how they are able to defend this push. They're about to be down 20, so I want to see how they handle it.
Let's jump in.
Just to get wave pressure. You have to fight down 20s.
I'll get bottom wave.
We can look for a pick for whoever tries to clear, because they are one bot.
You can do 4 though. I mean, we can play around if someone.
I think we just have to take these towers. We need,
Yeah.
if we're giving it up.
Yeah.
We need XP.
I got mid, just go to top or hit mid or something.
I think we should go top.
Alright,
Top. We have these siege.
I'm just gonna hit it.
Although I'm kind of worried bot's gonna stack up and they'll just march core.
They are.
I'll go try
We're
clear.
gonna take a really fast fight.
You got the back now. You got the back now.
Yeah.
It's only a 15-minute protector. It doesn't do too much, but Vala does a lot of damage.
I think, yeah, we just have to run
You gotta
it.
kill everyone.
In.
Vala's kind of hinting here.
Yeah.
If you can get anything on
Khroen, they're just, it's silence and just such focus coming out from our red team. I have cursed myself like in every season of CCL. Blessed Shield comes out from Joanna. They're going to step in as they get the Garrosh kill right there. Trigger Protector is still fairly healthy, and they're going to move in through this bottom lane with it. Sylvanas is going to pop their Unstoppable. Trigger Protector jumps on top. The Gunner finds the kill. Li Ming is actually going to get a reset right there. Funds in the backline is trying to make something happen, but Fury and friends are chasing this. They get the kill right there, and Trigger Protector steps towards core here. Khroen, this is looking like game number 1 goes over to our blue team.
You know, Baha, it's looking very much like it's game number 1 here. The Riptire, level 20 isn't achieved, but even with the level 20, it wouldn't be able to defend this. Some great plays here by the blue team. We heard the red comms, them saying, you know, it's only a 15-minute protector. It's not that strong. But you know who is strong? Make on that Vala, stepping so far forward, and red team was like, you know, Vala's maybe kind of inting here, but no, some great spacing there and able to output so much damage. You can't get to the Vala when you have a ranged player as proficient as Make there. You just, you have the far what is it called? The far flight quiver at level 20 there to give you an extra 2.2 auto attack range there. Like, there's no getting to the Vala at that point. Fury once again with a snap blessed shield onto a Garrosh. Just with how quick these engages are happening from the blue team there, it is not something that you can say for most tank players. A lot of them might be a little bit nervous to start this engage. They want to make sure that their DPS are there before, and then they lose the opportunity though. But Fury, he knows the opportunity is there. He is actively aware of where all his DPS are. The Li Ming is going to be behind me, is going to full combo, and it resulted in so many quick kills there, which we saw throughout the whole entire game, and then at the end there to secure it for the blue side.
I loved this play from our blue team. Nothing against the red team. Carbon had some of the best concussive mines I've seen in a very long time. Sylvanas had a lot of great mobility. There's so much to be said about the red team as well, but this Li Ming was insane, but I gotta jump on the Make train as well. The highest heroic damage, the highest siege damage in the game, 0 deaths, is so very well played. But I want to also point out that Azure and Make played so well together, and the overall anchoring from Fury with the, as you said, the Blessed Shields, and just the follow-up from Valimar and D.Va, and even the harassment from the D.Va, from Darkmok, it's just, the blue team played this so very well together, and I think that's a big synergistic thing that we can kind of harp on and highlight here, is that they had massive synergies. They constantly were synergizing. Like I jump back to the micro missiles, and when they found the kill onto, I believe it was Blaze, who was just like setting up in the bush, or I think it was Garrosh, who was just sitting in the bush, and they would just like raw rip some micro missiles, and then Fury's just like, cool, I'm gonna rip a shield right into your face because I'm ready to go. Like, it's just good communication coming out from our blue team, and maybe it was, and you know, we jumped in those comms and it was a little bit quiet. Maybe we jumped in when it was a little defeated, or they already had established their plan and they were just trying to have clear comms, as we've talked about. But overall, if we jumped on those blue comms, I feel like it would have been chaos, but it would have been sensible chaos, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely curious throughout the next game to jump into blue comms at some point, because they have a game plan. Like they know what they are looking for. It is such a confirmed thing. We jumped into the comms, you know, last game of the red side, but they were, you know, as you said, they could have already established a plan there. But honestly, I'm not like doubting that per se, but there was still a little bit of things that they could have done quicker there. They were saying, okay, we're going to have to get the wall here, and then, okay, I'll stay mid, and then you guys go top and get that wall. Like, that should have already been communicated, I think, a little bit beforehand. If they were going to try to get 20s and recognize they need to defend against that protector, they knew that there was members on the bottom side there. I think they could have gotten a little bit more value there. But there were still some moments from the red side that were great. Of course, talked about Junkrat, Carbon. Those concussive mines are actually so good throughout the whole entire game. If there was a moment of hope there, that is really, I think, for me, what was working well for the red team there.
Wow, it was such a fun game, number one, and we're not done just yet. We have a 3-game series for all of you to close out the day. So we're going to go ahead and get into our map number 2 in here in just a second. And I know a lot of you at home are itching to find out what that map is. So let's go ahead and jump to it immediately. It looks like the members of our blue team are going to be the ones who will choose the map. So with that note, that means that the red team has opted for first pick priority. For anyone that doesn't know how our system works in all of this, if you are the losing team, you either get first pick or map pick. Since this is going to be blue pick, obviously red team chose for that first pick priority as they were the losing team. Excuse me. No, I actually have that backwards. Excuse me about that. First pick does go over to the red teams. I'm all over the place today. Sorry about that, but I'm just excited about Towers of Doom, really, because like we haven't gotten a Towers of Doom game yet today, and it is, honest to God, my number one, my favorite map to cast, and I'm just ecstatic to be going here because this is where we get our Samuro Abathurs, we get our TLV, we get more Cho'Gall potential, maybe. I mean, this is the map that I always love to run Cho'Gall with some of my friends, but I also will be, and I will argue about Cho'Gall for every map, and I'm sorry, everyone, you're gonna get sick of it. That's okay. Either way, Towers of Doom, though, Khroen, any thoughts with the players that we're currently seeing? Do we see more Vala play? Do we see more Junkrat play?
I think Junkrat is still a solid hero on this map. I don't think he's quite as effective as, say, like on a Shrines or on a Volskaya. Volskaya definitely being one of, I think, Junkrat's best maps there. Cho'Gall, man, you say you play Cho'Gall a lot in this map. I'm not really sure. I think if this is personally just Cho'Gall's best map, but either way, still the potential there. There is still a potential of a Medivh as well, something that can get a lot of value between the rotations and catch people out. I would actually, I think, be suspecting a Garrosh coming out from one of the two teams for sure. I know Fury absolutely loves Garrosh, and I just have vivid memories of him with Garrosh on this map. Back in the days of the HGC, making a lot of plays here. I know it was played very well by Tremor in the last game, but even still, though, like I think we're gonna get a Garrosh at the end of the day. Is basically what I'm saying here.
I agree with you. I think Garrosh is such a strong hero for a map like this. As we get into our Towers of Doom draft, the one thing I kind of want to see from these teams is I kind of hope they ban out Garrosh and Joanna. I want Fury and and Tremor to play something different here, just because I want to see other stuff, and that was kind of what I had in my mind in the last series, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and I'm blanking. It was the red team solo laner in the last game. They basically played no. Oh, sorry, not Blaze. In the previous series, it was Zergling. Basically played 3 different solos. They played Samuro, they played, I believe, D.Va, and then they played a Urel. I might be wrong on that D.Va. Either way, they played 3 different heroes, and I hope that a lot of these players trying to show off their skills in these exhibition matches kind of go in that realm. I know some healers are limited, where like Ana's just so good. You can't really just sit there and constantly swap off of it. But hey, we're not going to see an Ana this game, so we might see something. And you know what? People might yell at me about this. I would love to actually see like a Bloodlust Rhaegar composition, because it was the hotness for a while, and then Gladiator's War Shout, the level 20, which increased it, doubled it, or excuse me, no, the baseline was reduced by like 2 seconds, and then it was like, nope, Bloodlust isn't meta anymore. Screw it. It's just back to our standard Decker, Kane, Stukov, and Ana. So I think on a brawly based map like Towers of Doom, I would love to see some sort of Bloodlust fighty, team. I mean, Bloodlust Archon form is insanely powerful. I just don't know why it fell off the priority so hard all of a sudden. I don't know, Khroen. Thoughts?
I mean, Rhaegar, I don't know. I haven't seen it much yet, so I can't really attest to how strong it would be. I think there is potential, as a lot of things are in Heroes of the Storm. A lot of heroes do have the potential. If you're able to make a solid draft around it, maybe you would go things like Greymane, maybe even like an Illidan or something like that. We did see an Illidan yesterday, but actually, during this draft here, some spice has already happened. The red team had banned Abathur and Medivh. The blue team banned Ana and ETC. And that means there's not a Chromie ban. So we will get yet another Chromie game. I think this is our second one that we've seen so far. Yes. But I am excited to see that in the hands of, I believe, well, at least Winterheart for now. See if it gets swapped over to anybody else. But blue side,
I want to say it could be Carbon or Winterheart. I think they're both very, very capable spellcasting mage players. Like I think the members of the red team actually have really good opportunities to just pick it. You know what would actually be crazy here, Khroen? I actually kind of hope that they go into like a Zeratul on the side of the red team. I think it's way later in the draft, but like Zeratul with the Chromie and everything, I think could be really cool, and you'd have this roaming gank potential. Either way, Chromie will be picked up. There's no Ana, so you can't go Nano Boosted Chromie. Like a Stukov actually wouldn't be bad, and they could lock them down further with something else, but I actually think it's going to be so Warden's Cage. This is cool. And then I like this a lot too. But the D.Va into Urel. This is Urel being picked into D.Va. And yesterday during the interview with Vesper, they were saying that D.Va kind of wins this out if you're able to stop Urel from utilizing their Avenging Wrath. This is interesting.
Yeah, again, alluding back to that conversation that we got some insight from Liam yesterday, the D.Va is going to win that solo lane a bit, but Urel has much more presence in those team fights. And it looks like that is what the red team is building towards. Maiev, huge team fight presence there, able to land a good tether and a Warden's Cage there is going to result in so much. Even the tether actually onto like say D.Va, as D.Va is trying to burst speed away, will be able to be pulled back. Oh no, not a Garrosh, but a Garrosh ban. I thought that was for sure what the blue team was going to pick up here. Is just to talk about it, but red team reading my mind saying, oh yeah, we don't want to see that either, so banning that out for the blue side. Diablo being banned for them.
I love them if they were to pick up another Li Ming here, that'd be insanely powerful, and then they could just go Joanna again. Joanna's great on this map. Shield Glare has she like it's you know, like it's resident sleeper Joanna, but she's just such a strong
Okay,
yes, more Tyrael.
Is this the time for Judgment?
All right, if anyone's gonna run Judgment, I feel like Fury would be the person to run Judgment.
I agree.
Yeah, just like Polymorph, Judgment, No, oh my God. What if it's just Polymorph, Judgment, and Rocket Ride? Let's just go down that rabbit hole, and you have a bunny hop so that way they can't get away from the Rocket Ride. Think about it here. Think about it, Khroen. These are 200 IQ silver plays. All right?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it here. I think okay. I'm thinking about what the last pick from the blue team here. I think it's likely to be a Greymane. Okay, as I say that, Cassia actually, the team being locked in. So, Sanctification potential, right?
I think it will be.
It's not looking super value, though. Junkrat's not like an in-your-face doing a bunch of burst damage hero. Brightwing, I mean, D.Va Cassia get in there. Brightwing or Junkrat might not be in the Sanctification unless it's more defensive. But then again, if I'm thinking about the judgment potential, that's not really there as well.
Yeah.
Unless it's like judgment into Valkyrie into, I mean, it still could be Riptire. It doesn't need to be
I
Rocket
think-
Ride there. But
I, as much as I want it to be judgment, realistically, I think they're going to
Yeah.
go Sank because what they want to do is, while you are correct, there aren't a lot of people who are going to be in there. It's the backline Warden's cage dive that I'm actually worried about the
Sure,
most.
sure.
And that setup with maybe like a 7-sided strike and Imperius with Angelic Armament, who's going to be dumping damage in there. And then you also have Chromie throwing sand. I think that the argument, at least in my realm, is definitely for sanctification. But me personally, Bahamut, I would love for them to go into judgment. We'll have to find out what happens here because we have loaded on into game number 2 here on Towers of Doom. Let's go ahead and see what we have. On the left-hand side, we have the members of our blue team. Azerite on the Cassia, Darkmok on the Diva, Valimar on the Brightwing, Fury playing that Tyrael, and Make on the Junkrat.
And over on our red side, we have Funds on Urel, Caesar Salad on Karazim, Winterheart is indeed on the Chromie, Carbon on the Maev, and Tremor rounding things out on the Imperius.
We'll get into mid lane, check out our level 1s, and see what our first engagement looks like. Thunderstroke for the Cassia. Now, this is an uncapped quest. I mean, technically, you can finish it, Khroen, if you can get 65,535 stacks.
That's a lot of stacks there, Baha.
Easy.
Not sure we're going to be seeing quite that many, but I'm sure we would love to see Heroes of the Storm go that long because I'm really enjoying casting to get underway into this game as Darkmok actually is feeling some pressure though, but being Diva, able to speed out there to safety as these members are just going to be going towards these waves, catching the soak, and rotations are happening now.
I've been noticing a different trend with the Chromie level 1s as of late, especially with the in-houses and just the games that we've been casting here. I believe in the previous day, they were up against a Samuro, and they went into Time Walker's Pursuit, and I was like, cool, you get vision from that, but there's also, that seems to be the hotness that a lot of these players are typically going into, because the Deep Breathing had a buff on the PTR, and then when it went live, it was actually nerfed down a little bit, and it was played, but it didn't end up being kind of the mainstay. Caesar Salad gets the dash, but they still go down to the Cassia. Carbon gonna get the Umbra Bind, and a Fan of Knives reset after reset, but they're gonna have to back off as Azerite actually gets the Celestial Charge onto them, but there's just way too much of the enemy team around them. My whole point is that Time Walker's Pursuit seems to be the go for all these Chromie players ever since the Mobius Loop at level 5 for them, or level 7 standard, and the Deep Breathing from level 1 was nerfed. So just interesting change right there, but it also gives them opportunities like this right here to give vision and know that the enemy team is waiting with the Steel Trap and grabbing that camp as well.
Exactly. Going back to that little engage resulted in a kill there. The Junkrat, Concussive Mind, is what started that all out. You know, Junkrat's a powerful hero, but seeing all these bans, it's just because these Junkrat players are just so damn good. They're be able to make so many plays happen. We see engage happen here on the bottom side. Maev looking to go in, but is going to be polymorphed and dissuading any further aggression there. Both teams going to be clearing out these pumpkins, and we're going to be able to reset here. Oh, actually, no, way back in.
Ooh, Celestial Charge Polymorph. That's going to be the Concussive Mind to force them away. Tremor trying to back off right now as Fury is on the case. Speed boost and find the kill. I want to note here as well, Junkrat went to blow them up at level 1. Hitting an enemy here with Concussive Mind or Steel Trap causes Junkrat to deal 25 increased damage with their basic attacks and basic abilities for 6 seconds, as Junkrat will be counter-killed and the members of our red team find a kill of their own. First objective will be announced here in 4 seconds and it'll be up and available for contest at 3 minutes into the game. Khroen, do you expect the standard top left and right to be traded in the big fight over the bottom, or will this be any different?
I suspect it would be that much of the same here. Both top laners probably going to trade out, and then posturing happens on the bottom side there. Caesar Salad picked up the kill onto Junkrat just a moment ago. I love recognizing on Monk when you're able to get that damage in. You have that quick dashing potential to find those kills, but the alter phase will be underway here as we don't have Junkrat down here quite yet. So the Chromie team, the red team, will have the initial posturing in their favor.
We also do see that we went into a Horror Anomaly at level 4 for the Chromie, which is going to give them the extra time traps. That's why you're seeing them zoning out the enemy team with those 2 time traps right there. And it seems like they're going to be able to get 8 shots into the core of the blue team on the side of the red, and they themselves will only take 4. Pretty well played first phase. Pretty standard as well. 1 team taking 8 damage, 1 team only taking 4.
We do see some disengage happening on the bottom side here. The blue team aggression though, we do have a Brightwing part into the mid lane. Will that result in anything? Not looking like it though.
D.Va's actually chasing up into top lane, and just the harassment level into Yrel is kind of funny, but I'm watching their health bar at the top of the screen not really dive down as they're diving onto Azurite. Can they find the kill? The Celestial Charge actually sidesteps the... Oh my god, I wish I could go back and watch that in slow motion. They literally Celestial Charge and get away from the concussive mine, either blast, or they actually just get far enough away from the actual knockback range. Really, really well played by Trimmer and friends as they get themselves a kill onto that Cassia, and they will have another Sapper camp grab for this bottom lane. Khroen, why do they constantly grab camps for bottom lane and hang out down here?
Well, we are on Towers of Doom, so the main focus is going to be these bottom forts. The first team that is able to take the enemy's bottom fort will hold so much map pressure. They are able to have better posturing for both of the bottom altars and the siege camps as well. And of course, once those pumpkins are pushed in to the core, they will be dealing core damage. Mankey, good concussive blast there to be able to go to safety. But Winterheart on the Chromie is level 8 now. Swelling Sands is achieved as some aggression continues to happen here. These teams are scrapping.
Yeah, you actually saw a little bit of what looked like a Starfall for a second. That's a Loon's Wrath from level 7 from Carbon, so they're just getting a little extra damage when they hit. I believe it's 2 or more heroes with their Fan of Knives, and that's exactly the case. We are going to have a double altar phase here coming up next, and this will be Yrel on the right side, D.Va on the left, and I think these just get traded out. I think it's just the Heroes of the Storm agreement. They say, cool, you take 4, I take 4, that's that. Everyone in bottom lane still has a good time.
Yep, Winterheart actually is having a great time here, getting a lot of siege damage into these towers. So if we talk about the priority of getting those forts, it is in the favor of the red side, but a 5v4 happening here.
Umbra Bind gonna pull Fury in as they're just gonna be hanging around. They're just like, cool, you pulled me closer to my friendly team. I could shield them if I really want to, but it's 2-2 in kills, and we are 9.5 to 9.5 in levels. This is a very, very close game. And for anyone wondering, if you might have come in and you see that it's BO3, that it's 3 games. We have a 3-game series for all of you. Everyone wanted a 3-game series, so we nixed the best of 3, and we gave you as much Heroes of the Storm action as we possibly can. Junkrat and mid lane might get caught out here as they are going to be getting knocked around by the Yrel, and that will be another kill in favor for the members of the red team as that pushes them up a little bit further in their experience value.
I love that pick there. It was a Junkrat not being able to mine to safety in time. The 7-sided coming out very, very great there from Caesar Salad. But Chromie is continuing the aggression onto the bottom lane at the same time here. Going back to this. Oh, actually, Carbon.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I love those plays by Maevs, being able to go from over wall and catching the team off guard. Those are the things that you want to be looking for as a Maev player.
Can we talk about the level 10 for Maev? Because that's not a common thing. It was popular for a little bit in some of the leagues that I was casting, where it was like single target shutdown, a lot like a Nubrak with Cocoon. But I'm surprised it's not Warden's Cage. Why? Why not?
Okay.
Like I don't know.
So I think this actually goes back into talking about the draft and trying to figure out why Fury picked the Tyrael. I think the Tyrael is a really good defensive option into that Warden's Cage, so maybe that's the thought process there. It's like, okay, the Warden's Cage won't get value because Sank will come out and we won't be able to do anything here. So maybe being able to just use that containment disc on the Tyrael or on, the D.Va as well. Actually, I think that's a very good option as well. And then push past damage to the other members, I think, is a solid option there. If Carbon is able to make good use of that, that will be so strong of a fighting power force in team fights.
Can they containment disc a mecha explosion and mitigate the mecha?
I believe so.
Because I think that's exactly, now that you said it, like that makes all the sense in the world. So maybe they're just trying to shut down the AoE zoning potential of D.Va in general, and then maybe even find a Tyrael shutdown so they can step to the backline regardless. Bit of a fight in this bottom lane. Slowing Sands come out. Sapper camps are being meshed into each other. Spirit of Vengeance forward, but no real big blink. Concussive Mine will throw Carbon back. Slowing Sands on top of the wave itself just to zone back the enemy team, and I think this will be the wave coming up. There's only one skeletal defender, Sapper, that's going to be pushing through. Tremor steps up right now. That's Kamake getting out of there. Righteous Hammer didn't connect. 7-side strike going to be coming out as well. Unstoppable used onto Azurite. Ball Lightning's going to pop from player to player. Riptide are going to be coming out as well. Sanctification will be used from Tyrael, and it might have just been a tool just to get them into this engagement faster and stop the Slowing Sands from getting value. As this is a lot of damage into Tremor, but they're still looking pretty healthy, and Carbon comes in here as well. Arazim is gonna find the punches onto Junkrat, and they get a kill, pushing them into 13 talent tier. Celestial Charge onto Azurite. Carbon looking for an Umbral Bind, Fan of Knives. That's gonna be the pull back. There's gonna be the pull onto the mech, but it stops the mecha explosion, or at least pauses it for now. That gives time for them to get out of the way. Darkmark dives in, and Caesar Salad is gonna be able to back off just fine. Caesar Salad was the one to dive in. I misread the labels, but wow, Khroen.
Okay, so I'm talking about this containment disc onto the Diva. It actually gives them time to kill the baby Diva out of mech form. They were looking for it there, not able to quite achieve that though. As it was a little bit awkward, Carbon pulling the mech closer to them and then being like, oh, okay, I gotta run now. But then let's kill the baby Diva. Couldn't quite figure that out. But Winterheart zoning here, great damage as blue team members try to come in and stall. They do get the stall here, but Fury actually looking for some body blocks there, and the Junkrat mine comes through.
Fury almost going down to the 7-sided strike from Karazim as a lot of the red members are looking fairly healthy. There'll be the Spirit of Vengeance backwards from Carbon to get out of there. Make being slowed by the slowing sands, trying to get in there and poke at them as they are going to be having Fury with the Holy Ground from level 13. So it's going to be a very fun talent to see how they utilize that, maybe in boss steals or even camp steals. Another slowing sands. Umbra Bind going to be pulling them in. That's Caesar Salad split from the friendly team. Make trying to find the damage they need, but the slowing sands is so well placed that they just can't really get a good angle here. Riptire just right into the face of Urel. They just want to kill Urel, and they do manage to get the kill. Diva Mecha will go down, but the pilot's still been available. The blink from Carbon to avoid the damage, but they still find the kill onto Maev. And this is going to be the members of the blue team grabbing this channel here. Khroen, insane back and forth, but so well played from the blue team.
Definitely. The Junkrat tire, I wondered if Junkrat was going to get a little bit greedy and try to get multiple low members, but instead said, no, I'm just going to make sure we get this Urel kill, and that is what really solidified that team fight victory there for Blue, able to push forward at that point there. Maybe Maev should have kept running because the time trap was there from the Chromie, might have survived, but went to blink back in, and then fell to her demise there. But Blue, the kills are still 4-4 at the end of the day here, though. This is still a very even game. Shots are literally even, being 24-24. The blue team, though, did get out those sappers from the red side, and they get out the sappers of their own. We talked about the Chromie having the lead on the structure damage at the bottom side, but now they've already evened it up and might actually get more here.
I'm blown away by the plays that are happening right now. These teams are just, they're bringing such cool moments to the table. We do have a triple altar phase coming up next. Celestial Charge through the wall onto Fear. They're going to take a lot of damage right there. 7-sided strike from the Kerosene, but they managed to get the Aldruin's Might away, and they back off just fine. That Holy Ground also offering a little extra protection so that Tremor couldn't step in and chase after them. 16 talent here is going to be really close here, Khroen, and we're approaching this triple altar phase. Do you want to, this is the question I'm going to pose to you, and chat might yell at me. Do you want to try and jump into comms for triple, or do you want to wait for another single altar phase?
I'm down for triple here. I'm down to jump into the blue team's comms if we would so choose here. Yeah, seeing how they approach this.
Alright, we want to get mid control now.
Walk
through.
Watch this bush, watch this bush.
I think they haven't walked in yet.
It's a bit scary for me to. Okay, I'm walking down now. I see you.
Yep. We want to get some.
You're also gonna be from above.
I'm gonna be in between mid and.
I'm gonna capture ours.
Yeah, cap ours. I'm not sure where my is yet.
I'm gonna be earlier than you.
Alright, we're gonna be.
I can stall for a really long time.
Hit this Maev, hit this Maev.
We can go.
Yeah. We can poke.
We're 5-4 right now. 5-4.
Remember, I have Sank for us.
I'm pushing in the thing.
Can we try and cap it a bit? Urel is coming from top side.
Actually, I need help.
Yeah, I'm watching you.
Okay, I'm fine.
You're also above us. You're also above us.
I'm
stay on trap. Stay on the trap.
Yo, I have a back here on me. You guys get to me?
I have Urel on me.
Urel is in the back.
I'm just saying for myself.
Alright, that's fine.
Can we reset?
Urel silenced?
Yeah. It's 1 HP on Urel. 1 HP. Play slow. We're winning this slow fight.
Yeah, I'm giving us some movement speed.
Careful cleaves.
Alright. We need to chill.
I have a blinking too. She was like 1 health. That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
I think when we're winning the trades, we just need to reset and go back. We have.
Khroen, it was going so well for the blue team. Their communication was pretty well, but then it was pretty good. But then just the flank from Urel, honest to God, threw them off so hard. That massive flank, Junkrat, split that team so hard. What are your thoughts on the comms that we just heard?
Okay, I love the thing that jumps out to me at the end here, actually, right, getting engaged on here. Might actually go down before we get into that, and yes, okay, another kill from the red team. 7-sided strike comes out from Darkmog, or onto Darkmog here. Falling, but actually the one falls in response, so 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Team's giving me no chance here to explain what I just heard, but they're invading the siege camp actually as well, gonna get more aggression here. Fury, though, great Holy Ground steal there. Okay, back to the comms there.
Yes.
I love, even though the fight didn't go their way, they were saying, okay, that fight went wrong. Immediately addressing, we have to play slow in these fights, can't overaggress, just have to kite back, and that's where we'll find success there. So even though the fight didn't go their way, they know how they must improve for the next fight, and that is so crucial to be able to not lose faith in your team, not lose faith in the fact of your draft or anything like that, but you know that you can still win if you play it just a little bit differently.
I like that. Being kind of a cheerleader or being positive with your team and not saying, "Oh, you screwed up here." It's we need to adjust this. It's not a you thing. It's a we thing because we are a team and we're working. I like that. That verbiage is actually massive. Like there's, Here's the Storm. It can be such a mental game, and if you tilt your own teammate by the words that you say, that can just absolutely be what fails the game. But Fury tries to go for the cheeky play. They're gonna go ahead and get their explosion onto a couple players there. Now I want to note, Tyrael was changed a while ago, where their trait actually gives them 10% cooldown reduction on their death timer per enemy hero hit. So the more heroes that Fury was able to hit with that trait or their explosion, gave them a little bit of a buffer, or at least a bit of a jump in their death timer, as the sapper camp will be fed through bottom lane, and they're going to go ahead and get the channel right there. Khroen, this is looking really well played for the red team, but it's Towers of Doom. It's still, in my opinion, anybody's game.
It is, but the red team has a big advantage here. They got the bottom. They got the bottom for it. They're rotating to the boss, it seems like. Yeah, they're not going to find a kill into Dark Mock. Some good identification there of the rotation. It's able to go to safety. They're going to bring the blue team's core health down to 8. This does, however, give blue team the XP and the time to be able to take this fort down, which will give them XP back. And actually, okay, boss gives you 4 shots, right? But I actually prefer defending the bot fort as even higher priority, because you're going to get so much of the pressure there. You're going to get the siege camp priority. You're going to be able to push shots in, and then you can find the boss later on to secure the game there. Fury actually going in pretty aggressively there once he hit a couple of heroes there. Blue team does need level 20, and they will have time to achieve it between the D.Va Soak and the top lane before this next altar shrine does spawn. They're defending well down in the bottom lane. I don't suspect this fort to fall.
A lot of upper tier players that I've talked to in interviews and just through Here's the Storm chats, like they kind of would say exactly what you're talking to as well. Like, while boss is great and everything, it's not a win condition. Bottom lane can be a higher win condition, so holding that's way better. As they're going to dive in with the Celestial Charge. Ball Lightning's going to pop from player to player as the Angelic Garment's used. The Sanctification is going to go on the ground from the Tyrael, as Absorption will be used by Yrel. This is also going to be Ball Lightning. It's infinite Ball Lightning, so it just now ended right there, and I believe that's full cooldown reduction from Cassie. You can see it's actually off cooldown, ready to go once again as a double altar phase comes out. If they get both of these channels to your Khroen, this will be our red team taking game number 2. As Angelic Garment, Celestial Charge onto 1. They're going to get bopped around. Cleanse was used. They're going to be able to have a Ball Lightning once again, jumping from player to player. Fury getting so very low, isn't going to go down just yet. Celestial Charge will not connect, and they step away for a second while Valimar goes ahead and gets the phase shift in with the Pikachu. There's a Righteous Hammer. Fury uses the Holy Ground, and they manage to get Yrel because they cannot get out of anywhere. Ball Lightning once again, jumping from Carbon to Winterheart. Winterheart so low is going to use the Stasis. Dark Mock's on top of them. Containment Disc does not connect, and Winterheart with 2 HP, 170 or whatever, it will not go down. They managed to get the channel with Kerosene, and so that'll be 4 shots into the blue core, but the members of the red team took for themselves. Khroen, what an insane fight that just never seemingly ended.
There was so much that happens there. The Khroen actually falling there at the end, maybe overstaying a little bit, but Junkrat, Mankey able to secure that kill. Now we are back in the blue team's favor here. They're going to take the red tower now. D.Va rotating up to maybe actually dissuade the siege camp from being taken though, but either way, Sappers going in towards the core on the bottom side. Cassia doing the friendly siege camps as well. A little bit of a rotation here onto Darkmok actually. The 7-sided comes out, but the Brightwing port to make sure that does not result in a kill. We're getting 3 sappers through right now, so that core health will go down to 13, I believe, with the potential for more with these next sappers.
Next bell tower phase is going to be singles. We can see that on the mini-map right now. I'm just skimming to make sure no player model's covering up another one. So yes, we'll be single in the most lower half portion of the map. And, Khroen, both of I think us were saying this a lot. Towers of Doom is anyone's game, and that's why it's such a fun map. Did Funds just use Medallion? Am I crazy? Hold on, let me. No, okay, they didn't. No, they didn't. Okay, it was Seraphim. That's what it was because I saw an Unstoppable and I was like, I know Yrel has 13 different ways of cleansing the build, so it's whatever. But I was like, is that the same? Anyways, Fury steps in right here. There's gonna be a lot of damage coming down in onto them as they're gonna pull back into that death zone. Seems like that'll be the end of that right there as they continue to hold over bottom lane, and Bell Tower's up in 14 seconds.
And Fury's being so aggressive here with these jump ins though, but Darkmonk actually getting aggressive on here on the top side as the team fight breaks out.
Mecha Explosion, they dive with the Kerosene, and that will be the pilot form going down. Mecha Explosion will continue as that is going to be Containment Disc ending, and with D.Va down, they are looking to chase in. It's a 4v5 in favor for our red team. Fury going to slow them down. There's going to be the jump in. Are they trying to go for the channel meanwhile? No, it seems like they're just going to want to literally fight this down a member. We'll see if it works out for them as the 7-sided comes out from Kerosene. This is such a split fight right now, Khroen.
So blue team can actually give this up and not lose the game because there's only going to be 3 shots coming through. They're choosing to fight though as a lot of aggression comes down. Azerite actually looking at Funds here, ball lightning, but the time trap. Are they going to be able to secure a kill off of this?
Righteous Hammer knocks them back. Funds uses a self-cleanse once again. Winterheart trying to go for the channel, but Junkrat has a little bit of poke onto them as well. They are also endless nades from level 16, so as long as they hit heroes with those nades, they will be able to get cooldown reduction as the Angelic Armament finds the burst damage into Junkrat. Cassia goes down as well. Valimar getting low. There's going to be the slows onto them. Celestial Charge. Fury doing their best to help them out. And Sanctification's up and available if Fury needs to use it, but Valimar manages to get away. Phase shift from the Brightwing. This is such commitment from Valimar to keep Fury alive as they use the Invisible Friends. I can't remember what the level 20 is for the Brightwing. It actually is literally Invisible Friends, and Valimar is going to get out of here, or maybe Righteous Hammer to chase them down. Brightwing, where are you going, my friend? The Righteous Hammer will not connect, and they manage to take them on a bit of an adventure. But here's the thing, Khroen, no one's got the channel still.
Because red team is trying to get this bottom fort. So now if red team caps this shrine, they are going to be able to win the game off of it. It is a 3v5. The blue team has stalled a lot, but can they stall even more? Winterheart actually is going down.
What? Winterheart got picked off, and they're going to start to turn this around, kind of, for the blue team, but they're getting very low. Brightwing is doing an insane job keeping the friendly members alive. That Invisible Friends is helping out a ton, but the Righteous Hammer will find Fury and no Sanctification for 50-some seconds. As Darkmock's low, the block totem comes out. Tremor going for the channel. The Dream Shot will... Oh my god, Dream Shot from level 4, which is increased range and speed. Valimar with the 200 IQ harassment. Big shot from the D.Va. Make's coming back with Cassia. This is insane right now, Khroen, but they lose their D.Va in the mech form. Valimar still low. Ball Lightning goes onto one player. Kerosene wants the kill onto Valimar. Concussion Mine will throw them around, and I can't believe what I'm seeing right now, Khroen. Azerite is going to Hearth out.
No! Oh no!
Oh my god!
He's not able to stop that. That would have been huge, but now the kill onto Junkrat. Actually, Tremor finds that one. Valimar has been in this fight so long that they are Azerite eating that whole 7-sided strike. Valimar keeping the members alive, but not for long enough, as finally 5 members of the blue team will be wiped, and the red team gets the Battle Tower cap. That was... what a game there, Baha. Holy moly.
This is why Towers of Doom is the best map in Heroes of the Storm. This is why I love this map so much. This is such a good map because we have so many cool moments like this, and honest to God, shout out to both of the teams for just never ending that bottom lane fight. That was so much fun, Khroen. I love Towers of Doom.
Okay. I need a moment. After that
right?
one. Okay. Ooh, all right, deep breath. All right, unpacking that one. So I think the blue team actually could have given that up way earlier before any of those festivities happened, because the red team, if they capped it, only would have been 3 shots. They didn't have possession of that fort. However, the 3 members of the blue team were able to stall that for so insanely long that there was a 60-second death timer that happened for the members of the blue team. They respawned and went back into the fight, and Valimar was kiting for probably the longest that they probably kited in their entire lives in Heroes of the Storm. That was there was so much there. They were actually almost able to do it. If that Cassia, if Azerite had landed that Q onto I believe it was Carbon backing in the bush there, would have gotten the kill. They would have gotten a lot of momentum from that. Of course, Brightwing was for so long there, but it was such a valiant effort there from Fury and Valimar and Darkmonk to really, and then eventually Junkrat Cassia to make things happen there. Didn't work out though. It would have been such an insane story if that actually went the other way though.
I really wish we were still. I wish we were kind of still on that map and it was still going. Regardless, one little quick thing I want to note here: 100,000 heroic from the Brightwing. Just or not heroic, healing from the Brightwing. On the opposing side, 80,000 from the Kharazim. So just Brightwing, definitely meta within our Heroes CCL. But speaking of Heroes CCL, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get ready for game number 3, the final game of the day. Don't go anywhere. We have more Heroes CCL presented by Roll20 coming at you. Welcome back to Heroes CCL, presented by Roll20. We are here and ready to go for our final map of the day. My name is Bahamut. I'm joined by Khroen. Are you ready for our final map, my friend?
Boy, oh boy, how could I not be ready after what that was on Towers of Doom last game? The energy, the excitement, the constant action brought to you by these teams vying for a spot in the CCL, vying to really show what they're worth and show their stuff. It was amazing, and it's a little bit disappointing that this will be the last game of this weekend, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. I'm ready to get into it.
I am so excited about this, but we got to let you all know how we got to our third and final map of the day so we can get you updated on all of the maps that have happened in just a second here. And until then, I got to say, Khroen, that Towers of Doom game, I'm still like sweating and reeling after that last. Oh my God, that was so much fun. That was so much fun, Khroen. Like, I really hope that our next map is going to be very, very close in the same right. And we actually will be able to see that right now. It is going to be Infernal Shrines. This is going to be the map pick of the red team. Since the blue team was the losing side, they opted for first pick priority in our final game of the day, giving map pick priority over to our red team. We are about to get into this one in just a second, and I am so excited for this because I'm still hyped off the energy from that last game. You and I literally were in just like talking before we went live, and we're like, how do you like not come back into this with just all of the energy in the world? Because this is such an insane 3-game series. And if I'm an org, if you're an org and you missed the Towers of Doom game, go back and watch it, please, because that is some of the most fun Heroes of the Storm I've casted and watched in a very long time. But Khroen, we're here, we're ready to go. We got Infernal Shrines in front of our faces. What do you want to prioritize ban-wise?
I mean, I think it's going to be the same bans that we have been seeing. I think we have seen a priority on the Medivh ban by the red team. I think that will remain a constant throughout this series. Junkrat, we've seen Junkrat played by both teams now, actually, and it has lost both times, though. However, it is still a very good hero and one that I would not be surprised to see. Yrel being the first ban here, probably going to... Khroen actually got let through that last game as well, so I'm not sure what these teams are going to prioritize, but it looks like the Soul Eaters to start things off here.
Do you think when Khroen didn't go through the ban phase, Winterheart in the distance was just laughs in Khroen, like in comms, like that was just it? Like you could just, like everyone was just like, did Khroen come in here? I just hear this Anyways, I'm excited for it as well. D.Va will be banned out, Yrel to be banned out, so Funds will not be able to have fun on the D.Va, or excuse me, on the Yrel. Then there's, okay, so I love this. They actually end up banning it out themselves because the opposing side has first pick, and they're like, all right, cool, we get it, you're trying to force it, so yeah. And yeah, no, I don't blame this whatsoever. Like, I think, like, I was talking and I was harping about, like, showcase different heroes, but, like, the Junkrat, like, I want to see more Junkrat from Vake, because it's really fun to watch here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Junkrat is a great thing to showcase. Junkrat being one of the priority picks in the meta. We've saw great Junkrat plays from both teams so far, and if those continue, that is impressive in terms of the consistency that you're able to have. It's not just one game of, oh, I got some lucky concussion mines. It's, I'm able to utilize this hero each game, you know, in and out of every game, and just be ready to have so much pressure there. Yuri getting that Garrosh for the first time this series. I love that, as we see a Stukov from Valimar. But a couple of picks on the other side were Hanzo and Sonya, both good Shrines picks.
I did see a couple questions at one point. This is North American Fury. Apparently there's two Furies. This is the NA Fury. This is the NA Fury that loves Holy Shock Uther. So yeah, we're still in for a treat because this is one of their favorite heroes, as well as this Garrosh. Now, you know what I'm gonna say here, Khroen. They picked Hanzo Sonya at the start, which is a little odd in my opinion. But you know what that leans me into? Cho'Gall! I could see this being a way that they go into it, because here's the thing, Ana's up and available. Why not go into Ana's? Like, it's weird that the direction they took with their draft at the start. So anytime I see like an oddity like that, like Sonya's not the biggest priority in my opinion. She is strong. She's very, very, very strong on Infernal Shrines. This is, in my opinion, one of her best maps because of just her value in lane, in shrine, in camps, just everything in general. She's so well-rounded here. It's a weird one for me, and I'm hoping it's not gonna happen. Tychus will be grabbed here on the right-hand side, and then they're gonna grab a Mei. First Mei of the CCL we've seen as well. Like, we have not seen any Mei in the... Oh wait, did we see a Mei yesterday? I can't remember. We might have actually. We might have had one because I remember making a joke about like ETC into May and May kind of doing like, oh, my icing is your 2 of your abilities in 1. So anyways, regardless, that is going to be a May for the right-hand side. What do they round things out with on the blue team?
Let's see here. They're going to need a solo laner and another DPS pickup here. Solo laners that can match the Sonya. Ooh. Okay. Valera. All right. I'm liking
Let's go.
this.
All right. You know what? We don't show gold. We don't show gold, but we have a Valera. Hell yeah.
And an Orphea as well. That's not a hero that we have seen at all yet, but okay, I don't think that the Valera is actually Valera. Maybe, yeah, some, Darkmok being a European player doesn't have all the heroes unlocked on this North American account, unfortunately, so Valera is going to be Leoric. But Orphea, I think it's still Orphea, so that's still exciting.
Orphea still Orphea, and then Lucio rounds things out on the right-hand side here. We will be having, we'll fix everything up for all of you, but there you go. Just so you know, it is going to be a Leoric instead of a Valera. But we do have our full drafts built out here, and, the Lucio rounds things out for the members of the red team. If memory serves me right, I'm just going to peek over at stream really quickly. Their wave clear is a little lacking at the beginning of the game, but they do have that Hanzo with the explosive arrow at level 4, so they could kind of pick up something with that. Tychus does have a little bit of wave clear as well, but they're missing kind of that raw damage or raw burst from some sort of mage like a Jaina, Kael'thas, Ghoul, Dan. I was expecting one of those to come out for them. Any thoughts on the draft yourself as we kind of are waiting to get everything situated for our final game of the day?
I think that Garrosh has to be careful this game because there is still a lot of damage between Tychus with that minigun, Sonya wrathing, spearing onto the Garrosh, Hanzo as well. Some players do like taking level 16 Giant Slayer to make a lot of burst happen there. So Fury, very proficient Garrosh player, has to watch out. There isn't going to be a lot of damage in the early game, but as the game still goes on, there will be a lot of damage there. The Orphea, though, not a hero that I've seen a lot of, so how is this impact going to be made? Will we see that massive combo of, I don't even remember the ultimate name, but the one that pulls everybody in, and then you can do some wombos off of that one? That would be exciting to watch.
Which one? Sorry, I really glanced over at the admin chat.
The Orphea ulti that
yes, crushing jaws. Crushing
jaws, that's what it was. I thought that was, but then I was like second guessing myself. But
I know you had that caster moment where you're just like, it's this. Wait a minute. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, it's this cooldown. But wait, is it this one? Because then there's patch notes and changes and everything. But regardless, we're gonna get you all into this final game of the day. We just got to get a couple little lobby things situated, and then we'll get going here. I hope you're all excited for this one. Infernal Shrines is a really fun map. The core 4 rotations between mid to bottom will be really exciting. As I said, I think it's going to be faster for the blue team, and maybe I'm harping too much on wave clear, but it's just at least looking at the raw drafts, I feel like that's the most lacking factor just up front on the members of the members of our red team. So if the wave rotations are a little bit faster for the blue team, they might start to look for some of these picks. Like, let's say they rotate into mid, they clear things out, and they start to show as they're rotating to bottom, but they end up just sitting in the mid bush position, or they sit in the shrine bush position, and then someone rotates through who's maybe a little aggressive, but probably May because they're anchoring, and they can just maybe find the burst potential onto them since they don't have a wave to grab immediately. So I think there's a lot of great and cool opportunities coming in for our final game of the day, especially for our blue team. But we'll have to see what happens once we actually load in, because drafts and execution are two completely different things.
Yeah, the pairing that's interesting to talk about once again that we saw on Volskaya is the Junkrat and the Garrosh, but it has a very similar kind of play style, that being able to control points very well. You're going to be able to, assuming that the blue team holds the control early because the red team wave clear isn't there, they're going to be in the shrine phases faster. They're going to have those Junkrat mines and traps set up already. Not only that, though, they're going to be able to invade the enemy siege camps and be able to get an XP advantage and get extra siege damage that way as well. So if the red team falls behind early, which I suspect that they will based off of the draft, it's up to them not to lose too much. They still have the good scaling in their favor with the Sonya level 10, Wrath being acquired there. That's going to be huge. The Odin especially as well at level 10, able to, if red team, blue team is setting up, the red team has Odin to push them back and be able to secure positioning from there. So I like these drafts a lot. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out.
Now, I know you're saying Wrath of Berserker, and people might get angry at me for even bringing this up, and I think everyone already knows. But how do you feel about Leap? Like, let's just say, like, I mean, sometimes you want to just jump on top of Hanzo's head, spear them, slam the ground, and then they're dead. So I'm just saying, they got some opportunity. I mean, me personally, I just like Leap for those kind of moments. If there's someone squishy on the enemy team and you just can't get into that backline up until 10 talent tier, which is pretty evident once you get to that point in the game, I think Leap has some viable options, especially if you go into, I think it's Poison Spear as well, so you can get the extra damage, and it's just I think it has viability to it, especially maybe to like jump on top of, and I said Hanzo, I meant Orphea actually because it's on the opposing side. But do you think it's actually any way viable, or is it just Wrath of Berserker value is just way too strong?
It could be viable if there was follow-up damage, which I don't think there would be much of with this side of the red team, though. But I love when I think about like ultimates and stuff and like stuff. My mind instantly goes to what's meta. I'm just like such
that's fine.
My mind instantly goes to what the meta is, and yours like, okay, what can things, what things that are non-traditional, unorthodox can work out. And I actually love that from you, Baha. I really appreciate you finding opportunities to make these unorthodox things work, because sometimes they do, and it's great when they do. Maybe I'm just a little bit of a one-track mind there. Either way, we are going to get into game number 3, our final game of the evening here.
On the left-hand side, we got the members of our blue team. We have Azerite on the Orphea, Fury playing the Garrosh, Make on the Junkrat, Darkmok will be on the Leoric, and Valimar on the Stukov.
And over on the red side, we have Funds on the Sonya, Winterheart on the Hanzo, Tremor on the Mei, Carbon on the Tychus, and Caesar Salad on the Lucio.
We move in through mid lane, and let's check out those level 1s, seeing we actually have what I said earlier is, in my opinion, the hardest talent for me to finish, target practice on Hanzo. We'll keep you up to date on those stacks as they do come through, but the next cool thing to note here, Khroen, we got Body Check Garrosh, healing reduction and movement speed as well. Not the standard. A lot of people typically go into that Warbreaker at level 1 to be able to get those extra stacks and cooldown reduction. They're looking to be in the enemy team's face and sustain that enemy team face push.
Yeah, they are. We saw a body check, I believe, yesterday on a Garrosh on this map as well, and I think synergizing with the Junkrat, I think, is huge. Being able to get that burst damage with the Orphea follow-up as well. Fury looking at rotations here. Caesar Salad on that speedy Lucio there, though, going to be able to skate on out of there to safety.
Mid lane, just a little bit of skirmishing back and forth. Sonya did come down over here to help clear things out a little bit. Leoric is pushing up that top lane, and Funds will have to make the rotation quickly up there. Really quickly also noting, Tough as Nails was picked up by the Sonya at level 1, so no self-sustain from the Warpaint. I think it's Tough as Nails and Warpaint. I think it's a solid 50-50. I think I see the difference, and it really depends on who you're going up against and how you want to play the Sonya. Do you want to be in their face, or do you just want to sustain yourself and maybe you just kind of play around, you're pushing the wave a little bit, maybe you get a couple autos in the enemy, but you're not sitting there and sustaining a fight. I think the Tough as Nails allows you to kind of be aggressive and maybe play around that low health pool and 1v1 to someone a little bit. I'm excited to see how that works out for the Sonya Leoric matchup, but we continue to check out our core 4 in this bottom lane as Orphea is pushing the lane up with the Impaler camp. It looks like Junkrat's grabbing one on the left-hand side, and Tremor coming down over here, maybe setting something up into the enemy team.
Azerite, though, in danger here. The Stukov healing comes out, the silence comes down, but the grenade from Carbon on the Tychus to secure our first kill of the game there.
Really nice grenade coming out from that Tychus. They don't have a level 4 yet, which I believe is level 4 quarterback. I'm actually blanking on the distance increase. It's either 4 or 7. I might. No, I think it's actually 7. I think because 4 is typically what 4 is either gets the good stuff or gets stuff, and then there's in the rhythm.
Bigger they are.
Bigger they are. That's what it is. Yes, it's all minigun talents basically at level 4. And I could not remember which one it was, but we are going to be seeing the dings come out for the Tychus on that one, and Hanzo is already at 1 out of the 4 stacks on that level 1 questing talent. That's all the questing talent we have thus far in our final game of the day. But both of the camps on the left and the right hand side to be grabbed for our first Punisher in mid lane, which will be Arcane.
Yeah, well, I actually checked the other level 4 option on Tychus because you never see it. It's Master Assassin, the auto attack.
Oh yes, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was like so curious, like what is it? But no one ever takes that talent. It's not great. When you pick Tychus, you're going to want to be bursting down those frontliners, which is why you take either in the rhythm or bigger they are. But we will see the first Shrine phase start up here. Valimar actually wanting to walk up towards Funds. Gets the silence down a little bit, but it won't result in too much here. Fury, though, getting aggressed upon.
That's a lot of damage onto them as that's Mei sliding in with the icing. They're going to be frozen solid for a second. They use their cryo freeze to just get themselves some healing, as well as Fury goes down to the damage from Funds. They're able to solidify another kill on the side of the red team as Orpheus trying to chomp onto this Funds, and Caesar Salad amping it up a little bit, trying to boost them out of there. Leoric is still chasing in, but they're not able to chase far enough. This will be Garrosh down for the next 4 seconds, and the members of the red team are working their way through the shrine, but they're doing their best to work through this. Sonya did go back in the top lane to push up the wave once again, but it still is pretty close, and it's neck and neck as Garrosh works their way back into this here, Khroen.
Yeah, Garrosh on the way, but not there yet. The red team is going to gain control of this shrine, and blue is just going to rotate out, get level 7s, and try to defend it. I was talking earlier about the threat of damage from the red team onto the Garrosh, as the Stukov healing isn't going to be that much. I thought we'd really see that come to fruition towards the later half of the game, but even on level 7s, they have the damage there. Tychus and Sonya there were just hitting from so early on in the fight. Hanzo went in there to secure the kill though, but the damage there, Fury really has to watch out in these engages, looking for a sort of pick there, gets the body check, but no throw though.
I'll say this, in a lot of the games that I often see, that's the value that you get from a first Punisher. In all of the Infernal Shrines games that we've had in this past weekend, there have been a lot of first Punishers that get way more value than just the front gate. But this is Valimar in an awkward spot. They should be able to back off towards their gate. They've got some autos into the enemy team. Try to go for the way to push slow, but aren't able to connect onto Tremor or Caesar Salad. Just looking at the minimap in the top lane, we are going to be having Leoric versus Sonya still, and it seems like that lane isn't really being won over by either side. They're actually going to do a bit of double soaking while there is a potential fight over this bottom lane camp. Wow, that was a really good scatter arrow from Hanzo. Concussion Mine right behind Maze. They're going to try and walk out of here. They get thrown into the enemy team. Icing gets them out, and they disengage just fine as Azurite tries to throw some damage into Carbon.
This is the camp control that I was talking about from the Garrosh and the Junkrat. The red team could not push in there at all. The Hanzo almost falling. A good look there by the Garrosh, but a good medallion and a natural agility away over the wall to make sure that they are safe. Azurite, though, with this Orphea has been doing a lot of damage so far. Even though the last shrine phase, rather, that the Fury went down, the Orphea was able to push out a couple of members and is actually the top of the hero damage right now by like almost 5,000 even.
Dear Lord, I haven't actually looked at it. Let me take a peek myself. Oh my god, yeah. Hanzo with just 9,000 roughly. That's crazy! 10 talent tier is going to be coming through in just a second in favor for the members of our blue team, not too far behind on the red, but with that, they're like, all right, we respect this. We're not going to step into this because, well, Warlord's Challenge is not something they want to deal with, and they have exactly what you were talking about in the draft, the crushing jaws for the Orphea for that big setup.
Yeah, and the Hanzo quest, the Q quest, Hanzo has hit every member at least once. Needs to hit Orphea, Leoric, and Stukov 2 more times to complete it though, but still being able to hit Garrosh and Junkrat 3 times already is huge. Good play here by the blue team. You can cap that siege camp and give vision over the wall, and they were just able to use the abilities over the wall to solidify that and take it out. That's going to be very impactful if there is a mid lane shrine in the future.
It's an interesting thing that a lot of players discovered, God, I want to say like 5-ish months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I think it's been in the game for maybe almost a year at this point, but utilizing any sort of ranged ability over that wall to give vision for the Impaler camp to focus the well, like that's such a critical and cool tool that I've seen a lot more players develop and learn about, because it's not everyone knows. Like, not everyone knows you can just throw something over the wall and they see the camp, they see the well, and they'll just focus onto that. Most people are like, the camp pushes the lane. You can't do this crazy weird cheese. What? No. Anyways, camps to be grabbed for top lane. Next objective will be popping up in the bottom, and it is going to be a frozen Punisher up in the next 8 seconds. Khroen, do you want to jump into any comms here?
Yeah, I would actually. What team? I think let's jump into the blue comms here, if you would be so kind.
Damager?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he missed boop, Or
they don't have Sound Barrier. They don't have Wrath either. He's Wrathing.
Tyke is D.
Yep, alright.
We not started yet though.
I'm gonna tap really fast. I'm gonna tap and I'm gonna come in.
Taking a wave here and then I'm on my way.
Yep.
I'm looking on the side here.
Oh, I missed the drain.
No more Wrath now.
No, it's
still getting it, yeah. Oh, I'm moving back to us. Moving back to us. Can we kill?
Yeah, I'm coming in taunt. Okay, I still have taunt.
Yeah, I'm sending a Riptide here. I'm just gonna zone them. You're zoning them. Just get Shrine. Get Shrine.
I have Entomb in 3.
We need to get the Shrine now. Yeah, we can look for Entomb maybe.
Look at Entomb.
Yeah, perfect. I moved them back as well, moved them back into us. I exams it.
All Psychus.
I'm just on Shrine right now.
Sonya! Sonya here?
It's done.
Yo,
Hanzo's
looking. Hanzo's looking. I'm looking to zone Hanzo.
It's really close.
I need help.
IQ. I got them. Just play Shrine.
Just focusing Shrine. Yeah, focusing Shrine.
Okay,
I'm ready with you, bottom. If you can catch something.
Yeah, they sped out.
Alright, I'm playing with the jump. I'm playing with the jump.
I might actually look to flank here.
Really cool plays coming out from them, Khroen. Any sort of digest or any sort of breakdown you want to give everyone here on the comms that we just heard?
Yeah, I love the identification to, you know, when they can play in and when they have to go focus on the Shrine, they're able to look for an Entomb to secure that fight at the end of the day there. And then after that, we're like, okay, Shrine is the focus. Make sure to do that. They were still looking for plays with like a Fury with a great Warlord's challenge there and aggressively calling for it. We'll see a Hanzo Dragon's Arrow, though, come through. A boot back from Caesar Salad onto Valimar and to Make. The chase forward is going to be able to land. No funds coming in for the flank of Wrath Spear onto the Junkrat as the Stukov does fall in Fury with the Warlord's challenge.
Fury trying to make something happen here. Riptire coming out from Make. They're going to get a bit of damage into Funds, who's going to spin to win, but it's going to be interrupted by the toss. The Crushing Jaws will connect onto Funds. No, they won't. They're going to be able to walk just past it. Meanwhile, the Punisher is taken out by the Nexus forces in the bottom lane. I don't actually know how much value it got right there. Might have gotten a keep front gate, but I'm honest to God, that's pretty surprising. Oh, not even the keep front gate. So they get a tower and they get the fort in bottom lane, and that's it.
Mid lane.
Wow.
Darkmok entombing Funds spinning past and actually is going to survive through that. Funds was so low, but it turns out as Sonya you can just spin right on past that and be perfectly safe. So bit of a cooldown there used, but won't really be too detrimental with Darkmok. It was a good look there, I think.
Next Shrine is going to be in mid lane. Will be Mortar Punisher. I believe that should be somewhere in the 12-minute mark in our game for contest, or up and available for contest. Impaler Camp for bottom to be grabbed. I'm just going to skim around the map really quickly. 40 seconds on average for both of the Shaman camps in the top lane, and about 2:30 on both of the mid lane camps, as Leoric has already grabbed that and pushed up a wave. Seems like they want to try and maybe just get this into lane before they rotate out, and that's exactly the case. They're maybe looking to push into mid, because Khroen, if they could get a fort here, or at least a little bit of damage onto it, that'd be massive for them since the next objective is in mid.
Looking for Sonya here, though.
Warlord's challenge, chomp! Yeah.
Good pick there, really good. Able to propel them even faster to 16s. Not only that, give them the map pressure to push into this mid fort here and try to take it down. There is a good wave clear, though, outside of the red team.
Yeah,
result in the fort, though.
It is, yeah. With the kill that they had on Sonya, it seems like they're gonna step back a bit until they have their own wave. Mei is gonna freeze the lane literally with her Blizzard, and they'll be able to clear this out. Steel Trap is being pulled in, and that's gonna be just Carbon eating it, saying, you know what, just take it. Just here, you can have the CC stats. I don't care, Junkrat. But the enemy team will be up a solid level lead, as it is 16-15. 3 kills in favor for our blue team, as the red team has 4.
16s not achieved yet by our red team. They are taking out this bruiser camp, maybe wanting to do it before the blue team decides to engage. But speaking about an engage, Sonya
just respawned
again, picked off by the blue team. Do you call it unlucky? Do you call it a good look by the blue team? Probably a little bit of both, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but really good identification by Fury there to initiate that, and the rest of the blue team to follow up. And now they can continue to siege. They didn't take the mid fort yet, but they are taking the full bottom wall here and maintaining their advantage throughout the course of this game.
Mid lane fort's got somewhere in like the 100 health pool range. It is a sneeze away. I don't even think they would need an Azmodan Globe to be able to take that thing down. Actually, you know what? Now that I look at it, maybe they did. Yeah, anyways, they're going to be able to step. Yeah, they still can step into this, and it won't be too big of a deal. They've got a wave. The periodic catapult pressure is beneficial, but it doesn't seem like they want to overextend for this, as the Sonya is back up and available. Do you want to note, though, Hanzo just finishing out that level 1 questing talent. I think you were just seeing that as well.
Yeah. This is huge, actually. The damage he's about to be able to do in these fights is so much more. Funds, though, being looked at by Fury again. The World's Challenge onto 2.
That's a Crushing Jaws to solidify the kill, and Sonya going to go down once again. Tremor going to get the icing out. There's an Entomb coming out from Darkmok onto a couple players as the Riptire chases on top of Mei, and they find the kill into them. This is going to be a toss onto Orphea into Caesar Salad. they're not going to have enough damage here. It seems like the Massive Shove will just push back the Hanzo. They're maybe looking at Tychus, who's going to round the corner and see a lot of enemy members. The weighted pustule will not connect, and they move towards their fort as they, well, can at least play underneath that and have a little extra damage in their favor. Meanwhile, though, Leoric and Make on the Shrine. This will be Border Punisher in favor for the blue team. Third Punisher of the game in their favor as well.
This is 3 times now that Fury has found the throw taunt onto the Sonya, which has resulted on a kill. Maybe going to need to reevaluate how they approach these fights in the future, as this game is not over yet. There is still only a 1 level difference, but Blue going to be pushing in here with this Mortar Punisher. They will, of course, secure this fort, and they're going to be looking for more as Darkmog looks for an Entomb there.
Doesn't find it. The fort goes down. The Punisher jumps over, and Lucio gets annihilated. Really, really well played right there. I want to point out something. Oh, wait, hold on. Toss on a Tremor. That's going to be the icing, the Cryo Freeze use. They're doing the best to body block. The arrow narrowly misses everyone on the blue team in between them as the Punisher looks to jump again onto Sonya. They pop the Wrath of Berserker. They get the front gate here, and do they go for keep? This is the big question. It's just... I just want to take 1 second really quickly. Every single time I've been seeing Fury actually go for these taunt toss combos, it's actually into the steel trap from Junkrat as well. So they're getting so much to CC into a single person. And Junkrat did go into the whole sticky wicket and all that. So there's going to be isolation, there's going to be silence onto anyone for 2 seconds. And so the steel trap's like a 2.5 second, I believe, route. So you have 2 seconds that where you can't do anything unless you're, I guess you can auto attack, but that's just such a great combo coming out from our blue team, and they're executing it time and time again, especially into the Sonya, which is, honest to God, Khroen, that's got to be so tilting.
It honestly must be, and I think we need to see how Red Team and how Funds approaches this. The mental game has to be strong here. This game is still winnable. Here's the Storm. If you stall it out to level 20s, you're able to get a good fight, then you can end the game eventually. It is an uphill battle, but we've seen earlier on the aggression onto Garrosh and killing him. They can do it again as long as they find those opportunities. Funds here. Okay, Funds knows that they are looking for him, but the Entomb actually catches him out though.
They're going to be locked in, the lurking arm underneath. And this is, I want to point this out.
Oh, no.
This is such overkill because this is buried alive in Tomb, and then they lurking arm underneath it as well. Like, actually, you know what? Hold on, let me double check. Did they go into the... They actually didn't. So, oh no, they do have the virulent reaction, or I can't remember how to pronounce that. But basically, it's the root. If you pop the weight, if you utilize weighted pustule and the root, or the lurking arm, you're able to get a root. So that was it. I was like, man, that's so much silence overkill. You guys are just bullying this Sonya right now. But that is kind of the case, as the next objective will be top lane. It will be Arcane Punisher. So the members of our blue team start to pressure up this top lane a little bit further, so that way the Punisher potentially can push onto the keep itself.
Massive shove not connecting there from Valimar, but the front wall is down, as you said. Darkmog actually looking again for another Entomb, another buried alive, but good identification from the red team. They realize they cannot step forward into that. And man, I gotta feel bad. Funds was looking out for that play. Funds was in the bush.
Yeah.
He was backed up so far, like he realized, okay, they're going to look for me here. But there was just such a huge flank there, and then Leoric, narrowly being able to get that buried alive into there. But Funds gonna soak in the off lane. They recognize they need level 20s here. They're going to continue to siege in this top lane. But the wave clear from red team should be able to be enough, however, with Hanzo. Let's see though, they're pushing in.
Sonya is showing in bottom lane, so they know that if they press into this keep, it's going to be 5 versus 4 in the defensive factor on the side of the red team. They also have their 20 talent tier advantage. Once the Sonya goes missing, I would expect them to start backing off, and they're actually, they still have their 20 talent tier, but yeah, okay, now they're going to start leaving. Leoric has the Wraith Walk. They did go into the Royal Focus and Ominous Wraith from level 13 and 14, so that allows them to have the cooldown reduction with the Skeletal Swing, as they also have the range increase on their Wraith Walk, as Valimar gets thrown forward into the enemy team, but they only get the weighted pustule.
No, I like that because it was right before red team got level 20. If that was actually able to connect on the route there for the Fury could have walked forward and got another kill. It's not going to happen though. We talked about the win condition of the red team. They have remained resolute throughout this game. They have achieved level 20s. We have the Odin upgrade, big red button, the ignore pain from Sonya. She won't be able to be bursted anymore.
We can hope as long as she can push the buttons for those actual abilities, that'll be the big factor for funds right there. Because keep in mind, Buried Alive is a silence, and that was just big setup for them. As Entomb is up and available, they could look for that. Reptile coming out from the Junkrat, chasing in. That's going to be a spear in from the Sonya. They pop one of their abilities right there. That's going to be a fight below us as Tremor's taking so much damage. Riptire will be coming out. Sonya's going to be on the far side of the Entomb, so it won't be factoring into them too much. Commandeer Odin comes down. Big red button value in there as well, but Sonya's going to get chomped and bursted down actually by the Garrosh. We have Tremor taking a lot of damage, icing their way out of there as Darkmok tries to get a slow. Big red button is going to zone back the enemy team as there's a little bit of body blocking from the friendly side. Then I just go ahead and throw a couple arrows in as Winterheart did go into the upgrade on that Sonic Arrow at level 20 for the potential stun and speed increase on the cast of it. As May is trying to get out of here, Tremor taking so much damage. Carbon is going to be the apple of the blue team's eye as they find another kill. That is going to be 3 kills overall in favor for the blue team as they leave Junkrat on the point, and they're going to go ahead and rush through top lane. Khroen, can they end game with just this Punisher?
It seems like they will be able to. Junkrat clearing the Arcane Punisher. The rest of the members already taking this keep. The red team, what can they do right now? They're looking to pick Junkrat in this rotation. Gonna look for it here, but the Punisher coming to assist. Make actually gets rooted there. Might get taken out, but oh.
Ice Wall on Junkrat in mid-air is going to lock them down. The friendly team double backed and saves Junkrat's life and gets the counter kill into May. And now, as a team and a staggered death on the May, they're going to walk towards core. This did give time for Hanzo, Tychus, and Sonya to get closer to reviving, but I think this might be game going over to our blue team as they're going to step towards core with a fully healthy Punisher. They have Wrath of Berserker, everything used, but Sonya, you ain't living through this one. Sorry. They end up going down, another death, and they look for this Lucio on the left-hand side of the... so very... Khroen.
Break it down. That's all Caesar Salad can do at this point as the blue team turns their attention to the core, but they are bloodthirsty. They throw in Carbon for yet another kill as now the rest of the red team members hiding in their fountain as we have the game for the blue side. GG.
Oh God, Khroen, this was too good. I will say this though. I didn't think anything could really like top the Garden of Terror Zagara play we saw yesterday because that was just so cool because we never get to see Zagara, and that Towers of Doom game top things. And I'll be honest, Fury's Garrosh was wild to watch. I like just the Wrecking Ball. Sorry, I couldn't think of the ability. The Wrecking Ball into the steel traps consistently in the later half of the game for single target picks, especially into the Sonya, was just brilliant. It was a brilliant play coming out from our blue team, and it showed that they were able to build a synergistic wombo or burst style composition as a team that's only played 2 games together at this point. So it's a major shout out to the blue team for me for having such a synergistic draft, composition, and play style throughout all 3 games, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wanna go over that again. The synergistic draft from the blue team, but not only that, but to say going forward towards the red team. The red team actually, after all things said and done, kind of a hindsight 2020 thing. The Sonya really didn't have that much to be able to support her in fights. So while Sonya did get thrown in and taunted, it's like you have a Lucio and come forward and soundbar you, I guess, but you really don't have that much to be able to deal with it. So again, it's not totally like Sonya's fault there. It was just a well-executed draft there by the blue team. Fury, on that garage, she's such a good player on that hero and really made things happen there. It was nuts.
I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and look at our blue team as they are going to be our winning team in our 3-game series. We had Azerite, Darkmok, Fury, Make, and Valimar as the winning blue team. They took a 2-1 in our 3-game series. And at this time, we are able to get an interview, I believe, with Azerite. So we can pull them on in here. And Azerite, congratulations on your victory in our 3-game series. How are you feeling after the games today?
Oh, thank you. I'm feeling pretty good. It was a few games was clean, the first one and the third, but overall it was very enjoyable.
Let's go ahead and throw it on over to Khroen because I'm sure he's teeming with questions for you.
Yeah, first one being that Orphea Azerite, not a hero that we see very often, be able to pilot that exceptionally well. What was the thought process there in the Orphea pick, and did it kind of play out as you expected?
So the thought process between my pick was like with my build, I usually go E build, as you might have noticed, and it's very good against Hanzo and Tychus. It chunks them really much in the backline. And Sonya just melts with the 16 talent Orphea has. And Mei gives free Qs basically when she pops her D. So it's a pretty good matchup for Orphea, except Lucio, which he can boop me around pretty easily. So yeah, I think it was pretty. And with Garrosh, it's easy follow-up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we saw that follow-up happen, a number of times in that game. But you also played 3 different heroes in all 3 games. You played Li Ming, and then Cassia, and then that Orphea in the last game. Seems as though you're very proficient on all of them. You have a very wide hero pool. Is there anything else that you play that we didn't get a chance to see? Maybe something to look forward towards in the future?
Yeah, I like to play Vala. Wait, let me pull up.
Say Cho'Gall.
No, I like to play Tracer, Vala, Cassia, Orphea, Zeratul. Yeah, and I can play the main stuff like Chromie and Junkrat pretty well. But those are my picks.
Yeah, large repertoire of heroes there. Let's pass it back over to Bahamut. Do you have any questions here for Ezra?
Yeah, I got a couple before we send you out of here. I just want to get I want to kind of open up the floor for a little bit for you. Is there anything that you want to shout out or say in your role, or at least in this spot as an exhibition player trying to get drafted by an org? I want to kind of at least open up the floor a little bit so you can maybe tell them, like, how much do you play this game? Is this like kind of you not consuming your life, but just a little bit about yourself to let everyone know a little bit more about Azerite?
Well, I'm from Europe. I'm from Sweden. I'm 21 years old. I started playing on NA as soon as the CCL announced. Right now, I'm rank 11 on the Storm leaderboard. So, I really like and enjoy playing HOT, and competitiveness is like very fun for me. And
I can definitely tell. Yeah, I can definitely tell there's so much energy and competitive nature within you, because the heroes you play, the plays you made were so awesome. We had a blast casting your games today. Thank you so much for joining us for the interview. You have a wonderful afternoon, and just once again, congratulations on your 2-1 victory, and thank you for such awesome games today.
Thank you for the interview.
Our pleasure. Yeah. Alrighty, everyone. At this time, that is going to wrap up week 1 of our exhibition matches. Khroen, before we get out of here, any closing thoughts on just the 12 matches that we saw this entire week?
Man, honestly, get real real for a moment here. It's been a long time since I've been involved in the Heroes of the Storm scene in any capacity, but being here and casting these games, seeing how with you and seeing how excited that these players are and how passionate that they are, it really almost brings a tear to my eye. Like, this is the Heroes of the Storm scene that I remember falling in love with, really solidifying my want and drive to compete personally. Now, of course, I'm doing a little bit other stuff, but coming back to cast this, and so getting that different perspective here, you see the hard work these players are putting in. Again, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I will say it again. They are really looking to make a name for themselves, because this is really a big revival of Heroes of the Storm competitively in a large capacity with the CCL. These players are giving it their all, and we're seeing that come to fruition here in all of these games here. I'm excited for next week to see some more.
We'll be back next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. 6 games on both days, 12 games total for the entire weekend. That'll start at 1 o'clock PDT, 3 o'clock EDT, and a 10 p.m. CEST. We hope to see you then. This has been the final day of our first week of HeroesCCL presented by Roll20. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next Saturday.